Hello and welcome. After trying some stuff yesterday, which didn't quite work out with Trinket Mage, today I want to, do a little bit more winning. So, so we're gonna go back to Karn, to Karn Amulet. This is the main deck that I have been. I think I have actually an 80% win rate with this deck, which is pretty insane. This is over 2 or 3 weeks already. It's just I am consistently 4-1 in with, every once in a while we 5-0 maybe, and I think we 3-2'd once or twice, but we're just like consistently going 4-1 with this list. So we're going to see. Yeah, we're just gonna play some matches, have some fun, make some Titans. The only change that I'm trying out today is I took out the Tormod script and I have Grafdigger's Cage instead. So we're gonna see how this works out. I am a big fan of the Tormod script. Another thing that I wanted to do is I wanted to try to feed a tracker, but as is, I don't think that I don't think I want to play tracker over any of these cards. So it's one of the things that I might just not be able to play tracker, even though I really would want to. We played it in the list yesterday and it did it did some very good stuff, but yeah, I don't think that the Karn list has transfer kill keep. I don't think that the Karn list unfortunately has enough space. And maybe it's because we're playing Karn, we just don't even need the tracker as much. Yeah. Oh, we're playing against Burn. Sick. So they can't stop us. You're dead, opponent. You're just dead. Let's see if my opponent leaves the goalie guide to block. Or the Swift Spear. Are you playing main deck path? I'm not playing around main deck path. Certainly not playing around main deck path out of Burn. Let's see if they just concede, so they make things easier for us. I guess they want to see it. Alright, let me show you how dead you are, opponent. Let me show you how dead you are. Where is the cyber guide on the Discord? Yeah, so Nitrox, the way that it works is you need to join the Discord. That's step number 1. Then you link your Twitch account to your Discord account, and that is when Discord is going to realize that you are a subscriber. And after you do that, then you simply you wait a couple of hours, and then you will get access to the cyber guides. What's up, Han? How you doing? Yeah, this seems good. Yeah, Nitrox, you're welcome. Yeah, like I have been liking this list a lot, so I think I will be updating the cyber guide very soon, probably over this and next week. I'm gonna use this time to update the guide, and if the meta changes drastically for whatever reason in the next couple of days, then that's gonna suck. But but if it doesn't. Alright, so Gobo gave us a land, so I think I'm gonna need to play the amulet out here, just because I don't want to discard. I was considering steerings, but the cantrip will make things awkward. Okay. I feel like I just main face a Braid here, right? There's no need for me to discard. And this plays around Boros Charm. Smash. That's pretty cool. That smash was pretty good. So let's lead on steerings. Get explosives. Play Scout Reno. And semi-growth chamber. We're gonna pass the turn. I think if we untap, we have a very real shot, but it's possible that we don't. I need to chomp here. Don't want to just die to Bogles Charm. Please no skull crack. Please no skull crack. Please no skull crack. God damn it. Alright, so we died. This was game 2. Now we're moving on to game 3. I think I do think that my sequencing was correct there. It's just my opponent just needed to have like all the answers, and they did. If we had been on the play, that hand would have been so much better. That's nice. Yeah, I guess we keep. We need a bounce land to get some value from this, but it definitely feels like if we draw bounce lands, we're probably gonna buy enough time to survive. Every time it's prime time. Oh yeah. Every time, all the time. Yeah, just the fountain is what makes me want to keep it, really. This is kind of awkward, actually. We didn't draw a bounce land, which is exactly what we wanted to happen, and I think I'm going to play this. This is rough. I think I'm gonna play this on Shaman, and I'm going to cast the Azusa, and then hold up Radiant Fountain, which I can flash in. How do you see this matchup? I feel favored against Burn. I do feel favored against Burn, but sometimes they get you. Like I think that some people just like underestimate this matchup like pretty grossly, honestly. It's not as close. It's not as good as it might seem for some people. It's definitely not bad, but it's not as good as some people seem to think it is. We're back on Karn. We were never off Karn's T-Stain. Just because I'm trying out things doesn't mean that I'm disregarding previous things that I've been working on. I think that Karn is by far the best thing you can be doing right now. But I was testing some stuff out yesterday. I was never off Karn. This is just a very unfortunate situation, honestly. We're just dead. We're just like dead here. Wow. All the whiffskis. All the whiffskis. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing I can do. I could play preemptively the explosives on 1. I don't know how that helps me. It's crazy that we saw nothing all of these turns. We just drew all blanks for 5 turns in a row. That's crazy. Wow. All right. I still stand by my keep, but yeah, I mean, it just clearly didn't work out. Certainly did not work out, but yeah, Yeah, I think Burn is an excellent deck. In fact, I think that right now Burn is one of the best decks in the format, but people just always underestimate the deck. OP has force meshes. That would have been amazing, but like that wasn't the play. That wasn't the case. I know if my opponent just got lucky and they sided in a bunch of cards that were irrelevant. Like my Burn opponents very often just like sideboarded a bunch of deflecting palms, like freaking Smash to Smithereens and Path to Exiles, and like a bunch of that stuff, and then I just very consistently just punish them because they just over sideboard. But I don't know if this opponent got lucky and they did that, but they didn't see those cards. So that I don't know if they were lucky that they didn't see any of their sideboard cards, basically. But yeah, I mean, that is how Burn wins, basically. It's just by not messing around. Play Skullcrack, maybe we can do that for us. Yeah, Skullcrack is definitely problematic, 100%. Maybe we should have covered some beast. No, I was trying to set up for Rex Sage being relevant. Like, we were very good against the creature draw from my opponent, but my opponent drew like all spells. Usually my experience is that I lose to their creature draws more often than their all spell draws, but we just like, you just saw, like we just drew nothing but blanks right there. In fact, even if our lands had not been, like if we had drawn 2 green sources, we would have won that game because we would have gotten Bailoff. And it's one of the, you know, like people always want to cut on the green sources in this deck, and it's just, we don't have that many. Don't cut your green sources, please. Do yourselves a favor and don't cut your green sources. Is this just black-green? Certainly seems like it is. Yep, there's the Thoughtseize. It feels bad to have like the virtual mulligan against black-green. Our hand was still pretty good, but they had like turn 1 discard into turn 2 discard as well, so we got. I don't think there was much we could have done. This hand was certainly a keep. Let's see what we do here. Hopefully they take the Ballista. They think this is more of a threat or something. Back at without the GP Indie. Sweet, Richen, welcome back. How did the GP? Oh yeah, you told me that you started pretty well and then kind of like the wheels fell off. Is that what happened? What? Out of all the cards in my hand, that was by far the one that makes the least amount of sense for them to take. I really don't get it. Personally took a loss in round 7. Yeah, like even if they have a Abrupt Decay, it's just like, why are you taking it back to negation? Especially if they have like Field of Ruin. Yeah, you got it. You got my Simic Ghost Chamber, OP. Good job. I think we're just gonna play our land and pass here. Like if my opponent wants to keep on spinning their wheels, I will oblige. We dropped the run 7 and punted and drew 2. So my record was 5-1-1, team was 4-2-1. Rough. Not a good choice even with decay, but something I've seen people do against me before. Yep, exactly. Still trying to find hide my brain didn't explode playing that many rounds. Yeah. For sure. For sure. Okay. You got another one on my lands. Is this a Goif? I mean, that doesn't do anything. If they don't put pressure on me, They can Field of Ruin me all they want. I don't care. Sure. Sweet draw. 1, 2, 3. Pass the turn. I still have Titan mana. So my opponent just spent 4 turns achieving literally nothing. But against 3VGX deck last weekend, lost the games involving a turn to go if won the rest pretty easily. Yeah, exactly. It's just like, if my opponent doesn't put pressure on me, it's just like, you can spin your wheels all you want. All you want is just, it's not going to matter. If they don't put pressure on me, I can go all day. I'm not worried. They also wasted an Assassin's Trophy on an irrelevant Coalition Relic. Then it goes to Ballista. We're gonna see what they do here. Maybe Lily? Lily would be kind of annoying. Not needing to play around K command is nice. If they play a tracker, I'm going to blow it up. That card is very scary. Pulse of Murasa. Get back my Field of Ruin. Sure. Sounds good. I think I'm tempted to Wormcoil. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I guess actually this Field of Ruin is relevant. So we're gonna get Python Needle. I'm gonna Needle Field of Ruin. Because now I'm all out of basics, so. Black Green Ponza. That's hilarious. I think there was like a Black Green Ponza style list at one point. Holding this land because of Liliana. So if they play Liliana and they plus, I don't need to discard my explosives and I can just answer the Lily. However, if they play Liliana and plus, I just minus Karn and get Lattice and lock them out, so. I guess Liliana plus. Alright, I got my explosives. 4 discard spells. Does my opponent literally have no pressure whatsoever? I could go for Lattice here, but I'm not going to. I'm going to get Wormcoil instead. Seems much harder for them to beat the Wormcoil than to beat the Lattice. However, the Lattice they would have needed to beat exactly this turn, otherwise they can't, so. Yeah, this is a very weird game, honestly. It all goes back to my opponent not taking. It all goes down to my opponent taking the Pact of Negation on that second Thoughtseize. Can you imagine if my opponent does not take the Pact of Negation and instead they take my Coalition Relic? That means that they are not wasting their trophy on my relic. That means that they can answer my Karn with the trophy. And they would be in such a better spot than they are right now. And I don't want to expose the Python Needle, I guess. They would be in such a better spot. I want to play out the forest. I'm playing around Liliana, like if I draw something, you know. Plus or nothing, I would just let Lattice lock them next turn. I mean, it's not like they can beat this one call anyway, right? It's not like they can beat this card in the first place. You have perfect information, opponent. Why are you inquisitioning me? Why are you inquisitioning me right now? You knew my hand. I mean, does this resolve? Alright, sweet. That was a weird game. That was a very weird game. Alright, whatever. Next, we take out the Pact because it's terrible. We take out the Cavern. We take out a couple of Scouts. Definitely want Relic. Definitely want Azusa. Maybe just 2 Abrades. Boxes at Militami. Yeah, it's just I don't see the point, basically. I do believe that Amulet is better against black-green than it is against Jund, because their only answers to Amulet are like Maelstrom Pulse, Decay, or Assassin's Trophy. So I think Amulet is actually pretty good against black-green, while it's not as good against Jund, because they have multiple K commands, and even sometimes they bring in Ancient Grudge against us. But more than just 2 Abrades against BG. How do you feel about that? Yeah, it's fine. You can do like 2 Abrades. This would be like the considerations, you know? Like the card that I would want over this Abrade would probably be the Amulet. It could also be a Summoner's Pact, but I like taking out a Summoner's Pact against black-green, because you actually lose a lot of games by just not making it into 6 mana, like flooding on threats and then just never being able to cast them. So since we're bringing in extra threats in Raminap, Bailoff, and Hornet Queen, I think the Shaving 1 Pact is fine, especially with Feel of the Dead being a card in the deck now. Gotta stretch, you know. But yeah, it's interesting. Like, I wonder. I guess maybe their hand was like, you know, a couple of Discard spells and like some Assassin's Trophy and whatnot, and they just said, okay, let's keep this like mono disruption, and then I will draw into threats. And that just wasn't the way it worked out. Yeah, I'm gonna keep this. We need to draw lands, certainly, but like they're not gonna clock me quickly, I don't think. And we have like multiple ways of ramping. In fact, if my opponent goes turn 1 Inquisition, they probably need to take my Steerings here. This is definitely the pick here. Unless they have an answer to the Scout, in which case they just take the Azusa. Or they take the worst. They take the worst of all the options yet again. That's a solid draw, actually. It would have been better if it had been a Gemstone Mine, but Snellcourt Force is also fine. It's just like something that puts me ahead in the tempo game. This is kind of a whiffsky, but it's fine. We're gonna play around Fulminator, so we're gonna play T-West next turn, and then we're gonna play Gemstone on the following turn. If they have a Bob here, we might be in trouble, though. Oh, Damping Sphere. Oh, how can I ever beat that card? They have pressure, opponent. Do you have pressure as well? Because just with this one, you're not gonna get there. I can guarantee that. That is almost pressure. Oh, please level up. Please level up right here. Please level up right here. Yep, they're totally leveling up. Alright, so this means that we get to Azusa, which is nice. Yeah, you can't undo now. They play the Hissing Quagmire. Yep. So let's play Azusa. Play land. Next turn we can transmute for an Explosives if we want to, or if we draw any untapped source, we can also just Titan, which would be nice. Oh, we don't need an untapped source actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, they need to kill my Azusa, or they are going to lose the game. What do you think about Brian Gottlieb saying that Edmonton is the perfect home for once upon a time? I think it's. I said it multiple times already. I think this card, the card is going to be fine. But it doesn't really fit into the curve unless it is exactly the first spell that you cast. So the first one is going to be very, very, very good. The second, third one, and fourth are going to be significantly worse. It's good that it's a live top deck. I think that it is worse than Ancient Steerings. Wow. Yeah, this is just straight up a mistake. This is just a mistake. That's just a waste of their mana. I think that it will be a role player, certainly. That it is certainly a very playable card. I don't think it's going to be incredible, but I can definitely be wrong about this. Like, Brian is a very smart guy. Okay, so we win this game. Yeah, I think that happens very often, actually. It's like people just focus on, like, yeah, this card, when this, and this happens, this card is insane. It's just like, yeah. So is basically any other card, you know, that's playable in Modern. So I do think that it's very common for people to just, like, focus too much on the best case scenarios. I am honestly not sure about what the case is with this particular card. I mean, it certainly is very strong. It certainly is very strong. So it's just a matter of how strong it is, and like whether it fits the curve, which I think it does if you have exactly. It fits the curve if you have exactly a 1, but like 2 mana is very awkward for us, really, unless that card is Explore, because Explore just fits nicely in the curve. But 2 mana is kind of awkward for us. But maybe basically what I'm thinking is that what might make the card amazing, which is what maybe I am undervaluing, is the instant speed. I don't think it's going to be that relevant for us specifically. But it might play out in such a way that just the instant speed is what takes the card over the top. I think it will be fantastic in standard. Yeah, for sure. Stormcrow, if you pass the magic card, you get +9 +1 infect. No, I think it will certainly be playable, but I think that Steerings is better in our deck, like by a significant amount. Yeah, in Neoform it's the nuts. In Neoform, the card is the nuts. It's my opponent trying to figure out how dead they are. You can't win anymore, opponent. Let me put it to you in these terms. You cannot win anymore. Nothing that you do matters. Just Karn minus for explosives on 1. Just blow up the Hexstring. Just for the BM value. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. The sweet, sweet, sweet 2 for 1. Alright, is this game over yet? We don't even get taxed by the Damping Sphere because of like the interaction between this effect and... because of the interaction between this effect and Sunburst. This is hilarious. Sweet, you synced 7 mana on your board and now you have nothing, and I answered it for 3. What do you think is better in this meta? Amulet with Karn or without with Mardu? I think Amulet with Karn is flat out incredible. So they're gonna trophy the Titan, which is fine. We get 2 zombies. And we just lock them out with Karn next turn because they have 0 cards in hand. My team lets me play Amulet GP again this weekend. What do you mean with lets me? What do you mean with my team lets me play Amulet? You are kind enough to play Amulet in their team. That is the proper way to say things right there, Felix. I was able to convince them it's a good choice. I mean, if your team doesn't think that that Amulet is a good choice, then you should join a different team because your team just doesn't understand Modern. Like all it takes is just look at the Amulet list, look at the cards, the decks in the metagame, and you can see that Amulet is incredibly well placed. Torod1, thank you for the follow. Do you think Neoform is Slayer more? I think Neoform is potentially broken. And I really hope it gets banned, by the way. I'm allowed to play Amulet. I am teaming with 2 PT regulars. Again, if they are PT regulars, they probably understand how Modern works. And if that is the case, I recommend that they just look at the Modern format and realize that Amulet is extremely well positioned right now. I could have gone for Wormcoil again. Like it's like my opponent can't win, so I just chose to go for the Lattice line instead, just because it, just wins faster. I will play with the GP and my team is also here. That is how you spell it. Exactly. Karn feels like it has a very favorable matchup. Stone is certainly not as popular I thought it would be. Yeah, I was actually very surprised by that. I thought that we would see a massive uptick in Storm. But it just didn't happen. I don't know why that is. See, those colorless zombie tokens make me want a zombie active for theme set. Well, they had like the changeling things in Horizons. Those kind of look like zombie artifacts. Burn just destroys Storm and burn his folder right now. Yeah, maybe that's it. Ugh. Is this hand good enough to keep? I mean, basically it just needs a Titan. I think it is actually good enough to keep. It's kind of awkward. If we're playing against something like Blue White or something like that, this hand is just horrendous. Alright, we're playing against TitanShift, so we are not punished. That is a horrendous draw, though. Redundant Azusa against the deck that is very unlikely to interact with our very first Azusa is not a great draw. There's 4-6 Steve. Guess that draw is not terrible. Now we get to Azusa on 2, which is pretty nice. Steering's into nothing. I guess we get the Ballista. We already have a bounce land, so yeah, I think we get the Ballista just because of lack of anything else in there. Going to play the Karn list, expect lots of Ursa. Yep, that is precisely why the Karn list is so good. It's because Ursa is just insane. Ooh! I guess I can get Acid Mossed here. That would be brutal. Alright, Azusa down. That means no Acid Moss. Yay. Stoneblade is popular too, and the current version is great against those decks. Yep, exactly. Oof. So I can play Azusa, but that is just terrible if my opponent has a landed a Lightning Bolt. And I'm not going to play around Double Bolt from their hand, so we're just gonna Titan them here. Just gonna Titan them here. If they have double Lightning Bolt, they got me. Easy GG. Yep. Easy GG indeed. Definitely gonna be bouncing the... I guess I'm gonna bounce the Garrison. Since I'm not double striking and I want to have a bounce in hand. No double bolt confirmed. Sweet. Tolaria West. How do I lose the game here? I don't think there's any possible way for me to lose. Acid Moss would be like probably one of the best things my opponent could do. Oh, yeah, so the way that I lose is actually they breach in a Titan. That's the only way that I lose. They are actually playing, if they are actually playing breach Titan and they breach a Titan and they kill my Titan and then they swing. I think it's a lot of fantasy players are playing Stoneforge decks right now because they've been waiting for Stars to be a ban forever, and we won't know how good it is in a vacuum till there's a settled shell and more people playing it. Yeah, exactly. I think that Stoneforge is fine, but I think that right now it's certainly overplayed. And people are just like messing around with it and are not sure what a good shell looks like yet. So okay, so I guess we play this. I'm gonna play Azusa and we're gonna transmute for Pact of Negation. And then we double strike Titan. Oh. Yeah, I just miscounted. I guess I didn't need to do this. Like, so, yeah, I wasted a couple of mana. That's fine. We're done here anyway. Yeah, I just miscounted. My bad. That's 12. This times 2, it's 12. You are at 12. Yeah, Stoneforge decks have been doing okay. But yeah, like I think that Ursa is better than Stoneforge. Personally. And I think that Ursa is also very underplayed. Very unexplored. That's what I mean. We want Sage, we want Force. That's about it. We don't want this guy, we don't want this. We might want a couple of Abrades. Just the Miser's Abrade. Yep, I'm gonna submit this. Stoneforge is like all the other mid-range decking model, it will be okay, put up some occasional results. Yeah, it's just like another Junt, basically. Ugh. Unfortunately, we can't, like, you can't really stumble against TitanShift because they are going to kill you on turn 4, you know, so. This is a fine keep, actually, so we're gonna keep this. Gonna bottom Summoner's Pact. Turn 1 Amulet, turn 2 Relic. Potentially steering into something sweet. Thought I had bottomed you. In Legacy it's so different where you can just tap out, turn 2, force whenever 2. Yeah. I mean, it's not only that, it's also the fact that in Legacy you get access to GT, which is pretty sweet. And here I have options. I can load up the relic, or I can steerings. I think I'm going to play around Ancient Grudge, so I'm going to steerings here. Okay, that's another bounce land. So I have a Titan next turn. I need to pack for Azusa. Acid Moss would actually be pretty brutal here, but now they can't Acid Moss, so that's great. Prismatic Omen. Okay. Play that tapped. Alright, so we have a Titan next turn. Honestly, if Modern had a GTN ban, Mystic would be an entirely different story. Yep, I agree. I agree. Yeah, so Dumping Sphere doesn't get me. I was doing some math to try and figure out whether Dumping Sphere gets me or not. I guess that Force of Vigor would get me super hard here. But I think I'm okay losing to Force of Vigor. Especially because my opponent, like, I think would have already used it at this point. Primeval Titan, Bogles Garrison, Slayer Stronghold. Bounce Stronghold. And now we can play Karn, but I don't think that is really worth anything. I feel like I'd want 2 green sources, like 2 green sources under what's his name? I mean, under Dumping Sphere. How many times do you think you've cast Lifetime? Oof, that's a rough question. I don't know. It's definitely above, like, I feel like it's probably above like 5,000. Maybe more. Because there's games where you just cast 4 of them, you know? Yeah, I think I'm just gonna get Gemstone Forest, maybe? If they answer the Titan, that is problematic, but they probably have to use all their mana to answer the Titan. And if they do, then I have 1, 2, 3. I also have Karn Lattice mana. But I cannot make Karn Lattice mana, unfortunately. Yeah, I think I'm gonna play around like the worst case scenario. And the worst case scenario would be Grudge into Damping Sphere. They grudge my relic and then they Damping Sphere me and I lose to my pact, so I want to make sure that I can pay through that. What's up, Matt? How you doing? Summoner's Pact. I mean, if they have Through the Breach, I might lose. Reclamation Sage. Thumbs up. Reclamation Sage resolves. That is definitely a desperation move, so we're doing great, Matt. We're just, well, you know, the usual, just, you know, kicking some ass with Amulet. I guess I tapped wrong there. Because now I can't transmit for pact. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter because my opponent still needs to pay for their pact, so Not particularly worried about that. So we're just gonna get Simic T-West here. Opponent's very hopeful over there. Play a Karn. Play another land. What's this? We're gonna plus on the relic, sure. Now I have a 3/3 blocker. Just playing the Summoner's Pact. The Summoner's Pact mirror match over here. What are we doing here, opponent? Can you please tell me what we're doing here? I don't understand. Like, why is this game still being played? At this point, I have successfully entered the make plays at random and still win phase of the game. It's a great phase. Strongly recommend it. Make plays and random and at random and win is the best phase of the game. Finally, my opponent concedes. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that was about. I don't know why they didn't concede 2 turns earlier. Oh, hi Drew, how you doing? Long time part of the YouTube Stronghold. I figured I'd pop and say hi. I was the one in Vegas who had you. Oh, nice, Drew. Yeah, welcome to the stream. Thanks for hanging out here today. I like this hand. This is pretty good. Oh, I remember this player. I think they are Spanish, and usually play like blue-red style decks, which is terrible for us. But we have Karn in our hand, so it's maybe okay. Loving playing this deck again. A few months ago, I hated Modern, but preparing for GPU guys with this brought me back, even if it was in the awful Hogak meta. Yep. Well, personally, I never stopped playing it, so so there's that. But that's not bad actually. Like Redundant Forest again. I'm expecting my opponent to be in some kind of Blue Moon style deck, and having a second basic forest against the Blue Moon deck is good. You see the new Lurker of the Lodge. Seems like it's pretty good, but I don't really know the intricacies of Ursa. I have no idea what that is. High Sky Scott. So I guess we're playing against Blue White. Okay, good to know. Definitely want them to field me here. Nice. Souza, Chamber, Bounce, Replay, holding up Scout activation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We still have Titan Mana next turn. I think we're looking good. Now they're holding up Cryptic though, which can be annoying. Oh, they're gonna... Oh, yeah. Well, this game is over now. Game is officially over. I guess they didn't have the Cryptic, huh? I want them to unban Summerbloom. It's fair now that they can force it. Yeah, I don't think so. Primetime gets taken. Primetime gets cast. Shuffle that one into the deck again. Path in response. You got it. Yes. And we're gonna get Field of the Dead and Tolaria West, I think. Yeah, it's kind of awkward that we've been drawing a bunch of our basics. Clock is sticking on them though. Clock sticking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 mana. They're very badly placed. No, that was a finely placed click. I mean, if they don't have a cryptic, like, it's much better for them to click me on draw step than to just not do anything, you know? The main phase opt though is definitely a good sign for me. I'm so ready to 4-1. That's so many opts. My opponent's really trying to hit that. Really trying to hit that land drop, you know? Okay. Prime time? Bounce land? Alright, sweet. Bounce here. Transmute. Summon Respect. Cast Summon Respect. Primeval Titan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I cannot haste, so we're just gonna do this. Yes, we're gonna get Simic, another Tolaria. I guess we can do Garrison and Tolaria. This way we get Zombos. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, this way we get Zombos. We still have double blue. In fact, we can bounce a bounce land here. Let the zombie parade begin. Whew. Damn. Look at them Zombos. Look at them Zombos. We got 2 more end step. Is Shemdegraph today? It should be. Yep. Yeah, it is. No field? Sweet. Oh no, are you gonna path my prime time? It's weird to say that we didn't draw particularly well this game. It kind of is the case. Like, we drew like a bunch of our basics and stuff, but it's just like, it's still fine. Alright, so my opponent has a skull in hand, so they can't have Force of Negation. Get another Zombo. Get another Zombo. We gotta pay for Pact here, though. Okay, they realize that the zombie army is unstoppable. Alright, sweet. Ramming up, yes. Bog, yes. Queen, yes. Sage, yes. I don't think I want Force, but I do want the Sage. Relic out. Colony out. How many fields we play? Just the one. You don't need to play many when you are playing 4 Primeval Titans and 4 Pacts and 3 Tolaria Wests. What it cost? Oh, sorry, Scott. I didn't answer your question. Yeah, I think that card can potentially be pretty good. It's basically like an extra Goblin Engineer. You know, that is like kind of the thing. I don't know if it's going to be better. It's probably going to be worse than Engineer, because the Engineer just gets exactly what you want, just tutors for it, and then the effect is basically the same. So it was going to be a good day. Went wrong one game 1. I started with 3 Amulets in hand, plus Azusa, Bounce Forest, and Ballista. Drew into Summoner's Pact in the first draw. That's pretty exciting right there, Richard. Oh no, how will we beat Batterskull? I know, right? Unbeatable. Stoneforge Mystic, ban it again, can't beat it. I actually do like steerings more than normal against blue-white because, you know, usually in like a normal situation I would probably side out one of my steerings against blue-white, but because I have Karn, the fact that steerings actually finds a threat, it's pretty game-changing. I think I want Sage because I saw Stoneforge and there's potentially damping / detention spheres coming from my opponent. This last cut is pretty tough. I don't think I want to cut the Fountain. Like I saw that my opponent, even main deck, they were playing Vendilion Click, so they're more like a tempo approach than a control approach. I think I'm just gonna cut one of my amulets. Just call it a day. I'd rather have Azusa than an amulet, I think. It's much easier to pull ahead with Azusa than with amulet. This hand is excellent. We have a ton of lands, and we have one of the best cards in the matchup. Opponent moves to 5. Yikes. Certainly not looking great for them. You want to path my Scout OP? They're probably going to opt EOT. Yep. What is your usual board plan for banned Stoneforge with Amulet? I haven't already figured out. Like that is part of the point why I have not written the Cyber Guide yet. It's because like what does the meta actually look like, you know? Like we're still not sure what the metagame looks like. We don't know what the decks look like. I assume that what you mean by banned Stoneforge is something with like Stoneforges and Quaddles and stuff, but like I have no idea what the list looks like. Do they play Damping Sphere in the sideboard? What like you know what I'm saying? So it's really hard to write a sideboard guide for the metagame that I don't know what it looks like, because there's like everybody's trying things out, which is great, and it's why Modern is so great right now. But everybody's trying things out, but there's no consensus lists yet. Yeah, this is an amazing click right here. However, what it does is it tells me that my opponent actually has counter magic in hand. Like what Edgar was playing, I think for Embargo Cyber versus anything, yeah, just play Sakama, you know. When in doubt, just play Sakama. I watched NSSG versus Live and watched Ross at Amulet versus Blue White, and the tempo plays like Cryptic and Click was the only way Amulet lost. Yeah, exactly. 100%. 100%. Sword of Feast and Famine. You better have the Force of Negation, because this Karn is gonna be sick. Karn, yep. Ceremonious rejection. I guess they did see the Karn, okay, so I guess it makes a little bit more sense. So I guess it's fine. Wow, that's exactly the only card they could have had that would have helped them there. So we take some damages here. Discard this Gemstone Mine. This is a tough card for us to beat. Like this is the way that this kind of deck just beats us, is by getting Sword of Feast and Famine into play. It gives protection from more relevant colors, and it also untaps the lands, so like it helps them keep up on mana, which is usually like the way. Yeah, these draws have been just horrendous. I don't think we're beating anything with these draws, honestly. 1, 2, yeah, we're not gonna be able to get rid of all of our cards, so I guess we swing for 1. Man, this is how we lose. Just draw blanks for the rest of the game. I think Emrakul is better than Sakapa because the only thing that kills Titan is Path, but Path does not kill Emrakul. Well, I think that everything is better than Sakama. I think is Sakama is a meme. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess I played this wrong actually. So I kind of have to fix it here. I didn't realize it, but I wasn't giving myself the out to draw Field of the Dead here. Can we draw something good here? Probably not going to be good enough. Yep, Force of Negation. So they can nod for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Yeah, we just drew a bunch of blanks and my opponent drew action. So it's understandable that we lose this one. We lost this one. They drew exactly the correct amount of lands and they had the turn 3 click, which was pretty brutal. And rode it to victory. What game is this? This is game 2. This is how I'm used to Click doing us. Yeah, Click he's very good, very good against us. Certainly so. They didn't fetch a Batter Skull? That's weird. Why would they not fetch a Batter Skull there? Lol. Alright. So my opponent is actually more of a tempo version of the deck. They're not so much... they're not so control heavy actually. Which makes me really want this Radiant Fountain, and maybe what I can take instead is the Sun Home. Yeah. Also, there's like Stoneforge, right? I guess we keep this and we bottom the Stronghold. I don't want to expose it, especially early in the game. They kept 7, which is terrible for us. Absolutely terrible for us. Alright, just make our land drops. See hand with 0-1 lands with this deck? I mean, it happens. What are you gonna do? We know what matters in this game. Probably gonna be a force here. If they don't have an answer to this, I guess I'll let it go. The fact that they didn't get the skull also maybe means that we are talking about, like, yeah, okay, so they clearly have the skull in hand. Play a land and pass. Let's not get got by a big click or something. No attack, no activation, Stoneforge, classic. The classic. Steering. Ooh. Don't mind if I do. How is the match against Mardu Shadow? Miserable. Mardu Shadow matchup is very, very bad. Well, we're in an awkward position now. I guess I tapped my mana wrong. I should have left this untapped. Yeah, wow. I grossly missequenced this turn. This is probably going to cost me the game. Like I cannot afford to let this go because they are going to get a hit in with this card. So I just need to pass the turn. Wow, this is so bad. I sequenced super poorly this turn. Wow, this was a serious misstep. I should have stared with the gemstone mine. I didn't really think about it. Alright. We're probably gonna lose now. Yeah, we're probably gonna lose now. That missed land drop there was just too much. I really messed it up. Really messed it up. Marshall has like 10 Thoughtseize and the Unearth from the native package. Yeah. Yeah, just like the... it's not even the Unearth from later, it's just like Ranger Captain, most of our answers are Sorcery Speed, and Ranger Captain makes it so we can't cast them. The Mardu Shadow matchup is really, really bad. Alright. Bye-bye, Aaron Asusa. Aaron, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 12. It's 12 months or 1 year. Welcome. Welcome back to the Primetime Stronghold, Aaron. Thank you so much for the continued support. Okay, things are spiraling out of control over here. Things getting a little bit out of hand. We just got a jam here, I think. If they have the counter magic, they have the counter magic, but we just got a jam here. We lose to Mana Leak, we lose to Disdainful Stroke, I guess that one too. Yeah, we're just extremely far behind. That missed land drop was everything. Wow. Wow, my opponent's on the Surgical Primeval Titan plan. That's so bad. That's so bad out of the control decks. Sure. I mean, it's not gonna matter because like this card is not doing anything. It's this that's winning the game, especially this guy. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna be able to come back from this. Wow, that missequence that turn, forcing me to miss a land drop was just game losing. Wow, that was really, really bad. Oof. Wow, that one stings. That one stings because it was entirely my fault. That one really stings because it was only my fault. Yeah, we can concede here. We're not winning this game. We're just wasting our time. Like we cannot beat it Teferi, and my opponent with 7 cards in hand. Wow, are we gonna 3-2 with 80% win rate amulet? I knew when I put the title, I knew that I was jinxing myself. I knew it. I knew it was gonna happen. God damn it! But it's fine. We can 3-2 this league, and then we can 5-0 the other league, and then we're back to 80%. Yeah, my instinct was saving the gemstone counter, but I didn't think about the fact that I was actually going to be playing the bounce land, right? So like saving the gemstone counter is irrelevant when on my following turn I'm going to be, like on that very turn, I'm going to be playing the bounce land. So if I leave the Simigross Chamber untapped, I am protected from my opponent's sword. So it was just like It was just like a gross miss sequence. 50% win rate. I mean, that feels bad. I mean, it's certainly more than 50%. That part is for sure. Just don't bolt me, bro. Oh, that's fine. That is certainly fine. That was a pretty solid draw, not gonna lie there. That was a pretty solid draw. So here we just get back to negation, right? I guess we get every... No, there's no way they're playing Thoughtseize in the main. Yeah, we're getting Pact of Negation to protect from Clone Flag. What's a better deck in the new meta, Mardu or Grixis? I don't know. Maybe Grixis? I guess both decks play K-Command, but Stubborn Denial is also pretty good right now. Just having access to counter magic is pretty sick. Oh no, I didn't realize my opponent has a 1/1 flyer in play. Beats. Live from the Loam. Foothills and Tarn. Okay, yeah. So we just win this game. We just win this game. Easy. I guess we can steering, so we can still Titan, so I might as well see if we find an amulet and we have like actual lethal this turn. Oh, so unlucky. Wow. 2 cards that I want to keep in my deck. That's gross. I think I'm going to take the Vesuva anyway. Bounce the Gemstone. Summoner's Pact. For prime time. Also Beacon Seed. Garrison, Strongholds. Oh, they milled themselves for 2. Tight place. Tight place. Combat, attack, yes. T-West and a green source of sorts. I guess Colony Garden does it. We're not playing Bog in the main deck. I mean, also, what am I bogging? My opponent has literally nothing of relevance in their graveyard, so like, I don't even think I want to bog them. Even if I did have the bog, I think I wouldn't bog them. Crip and Chill. Oh no. They're gonna gain 3. They milled right there because of F6 value. If they try to kill our Titan, we just packed it. I don't think my opponent can do anything here. Beep. Just gotta be careful of flashing in the land on upkeep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One, two, 5 and 4. Sweet. We can lethal them. Copy Bogles garrison. Bounce. Swing. This is why I fetch blue and green with the attack trigger from the prime time, by the way. Because I wanted to make sure that I had Pact of Negation mana. And this is just lethal. Because my opponent's like hoping that I mess it up or something, but not gonna happen. Oh, he's here. Yeah, no, we were fine. Don't worry about it. We were just fine. Damp Sphere. Definitely want to play around Damp Sphere. Don't think I like Karn. Definitely don't like Ballista. Kind of don't like Pact either. Something like this. I don't like Relic either, but... Oh yeah. Big time. Scout's great. I love me some Scout. Yeah, I think that's gonna be it. I kind of don't love the fact that I have 2 explosives in my deck. Maybe I should change one of them for an Obstinate Baloth. Not a fan of explosives in the matchup. In fact, I think I'm... Yeah, the Pact of Negation is bad, but I think it's better than the second explosives. How is Cage performed compared to Crypt? I have no idea. This is literally the first time it's been relevant. so I legit don't know. This is the first league that we play it, and it's the first time that it might become relevant. OP moves to 6. City of Brass. It's neat. Okay. Just Cage on 1. Cagerino. My opponent has a Ghast and a Stinkweed, so that is enough for me to want to lead on Cage instead of Scout. This pact is terrible right now, though. However, the explosives would be potentially even worse. So they got Imp. With them dredging, I'm going to assume that they have an answer to this Grafdigger's Cage. I guess not. I don't get it. Like, why are you dredging if you don't have an answer to the cage? That is very weird to me. Put on a clock. The clock is in play, everybody. Ashiok. Wow. Wow. That is... So, Cave, Gorge, Mountain. Probably gonna dredge EOT. All right. So there's the Titan. We're just looking for the bounce land. I could have played my Azusa there, but I don't know whether I want to use this yet. Forgotten Cave, and they just cycled. That makes sense. Yeah, like my opponent, I don't think can win for as long as this is in play. I honestly have no idea why they dredged all this much without having an answer to the cage. It seems very, very weird to me. Oh, they're trying to find shenanigans? Maybe that's it. Still nothing. Did they dredge? I don't think they did. Oh no, my clock has been stopped. If only I had a way to break through my opponent's attackers. If only I had a way. I love it how sometimes Moto is just like, I got you, bro. What it is you need? Oh, bounce land. Okay, got it. All right, I get you covered, you know. Sometimes Moto just has your back, you know. Beep, boop. Yeah, that's not a hasty concession. All right, 60% win rate amulet. Only because of that punt against blue-white. To be fair, I was playing like too carelessly, and you just cannot afford to do that against blue-white. Like, you just cannot play carelessly in that matchup. It's so skill intensive, and I was outskilled and now intensived. All right, we're gonna try. We're gonna play a different league. I don't think I want to make any changes. This list is just so gas. I just need to play better. If I just play better, this list is just perfect. Yeah, that's the right one. All right, thanks everybody for hanging out. My name is Francisco. If you have not hit that follow button yet, make sure you do so. You can get notified whenever I go live. If you enjoy the content, the support is greatly appreciated. If you subscribe with that link that I just gave you over there, you not only get access to those sweet emotes, but you also get access to all the Amulet Cyber guys that I've done so far. And yeah, I'm gonna be streaming one more league at least, Matt. And yeah, and if you join my Discord and you link your Twitch account to your Discord account, you're gonna get access to the Celebrate, as I was saying. If you want to check out previous streams, YouTube is where you can go. If you want to check out Twitter, you can follow me there. Give me a follow. Stay up to date with updates and like what decks I'm gonna be playing and when I'm going live and stuff. And finally, if you would like to support the stream, donations are always very, very appreciated. And with any donation of $12 or more, I will play any deck of your choosing through a league live here on stream. I'm all the way down here. Man, I need more. I'm on par with Waffle Tapa in terms of trophies. I need more than that. This hand is pretty good. We get everything that we want. Of course, it would be considerably better if our non-bounce land were an untapped land, but that's fine. We get to turn 2 Amulet into Steerings, turn 3 Azusa, and then turn 4 Titan with Amulet, which is much better than Titan with no Amulet. What you got, OP? This can be very bad or very good news. This is often very bad news, unless it's a Bogle. Yes, that's very good news. So many swings, because this could have been like red-green, escape shift, or something like that. Then it could have been like a devoted druid deck, which is a terrible matchup, but then it ended up being Bogles, which is basically a buy for us. Well, I think I have not played Bogles in over a month. I think it's been over a month since the last time that I played against Bogles. I get to play a league of Let's Play per day though. Yeah, I usually play 2 leagues a day. Sometimes I play like 1 more at most, but usually I just play like the 2 leagues that I stream and that's it. So my options are steerings to try to find a second amulet. If I do, we actually win right now. I can play as Susa. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have 1 mana floating. Or I can just make my land drops. What is best? I guess I am going to I'm gonna be able to transmute for explosives. Okay, so if I try to like net the max amount of mana, can I transmute for explosives on 1 and crack it this turn? I don't think I can. So that would mean that I have to play all the I will only have a Semi-Growth Chamber in play. So I will need to fetch some green sources so I don't die to my own pact. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna make my land drops. I'm not gonna have enough to like play, transmute, and also attack with Titan. Even if I don't attack, I think I don't have enough because if I try, I'm going to like I need to get resources to pay for pact. The point is checked out. It's F16 over there. Like champs. Historino. Go to combat, attack. I don't know, like Kalni T West. Like it doesn't really matter what I get here. I'm not playing on transmuting right now. I'm playing on steerings, and I wanna give myself the most resources to pay for pact next turn. Wee. Play well, get rewarded, etc., etc., etc. The only time I played against Bogles I lost. It's a very, 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 very good matchup. Same as with Merfolk. Yep. So my opponent's gonna attack for 7. I don't need to play around Path, which is nice. I'm just gonna gain 1 life here, and we're simply going to like play explosives on 1 and blow it up and kill my opponent. Nice and easy. And they are at 15. 8 times 2. How much is that? Are you guys good at math? I guess I'd rather go for the extra beats. Vesuva copy here. Yeah, we're gonna be fine. More than enough mana. Primeval Titan. Suva and Field of the Dead for show off. Sure. Field of the Dead for just for they still had all these value, you know. Just for the still had all these value. Okay. The fact that we play so many engineered explosives and we have so many ways to tutor for them and stuff. Like, why isn't my opponent conceding? Just concede. Just let it go. Just move on with your life. Strike this guy. Sure, more zombies. Whether they block something, it doesn't matter what. I crack explosives, all their dudes die. We win the game. Are you planning to update the cyber guide for Karn version? Yes. Once the metagame settles down, I'm going to do that. The meta is like all over the place right now. So like I don't even know what like the lists. I didn't even know like what decks I'm gonna be writing the guide for. You know what I'm saying? So I think that it's worth it to like wait a little bit more and just my work not be basically worthless because you know maybe my opponent you know I am writing a cyber guide for you know decks that are not there or stuff like that. I love it when people try to tell me Bogles is cyberless or something. Yeah, it's not. It is not. Will be for GP again this weekend. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get there, Natrox. If you have like specific matchups that you would want me to like tell you what it is that I'm gonna do, like I might. Let me think for a second. What I might be able to do is I might be able to write one cyber guide like the one that I wrote for GP Vegas, which is like just the numbers without like all the explanations that I usually do. So it's basically like an incomplete cyber guide, but like the full thing, like the full cyber guide, it just takes me a long time to write. So it's possible that I'm just going to you know just write an easy cyber guide and then so that people can use it at their events this weekend, and then you know just whatever after that. After that I can like take my time. Once the meta settles down I can make adjustments and I can actually write down the wall of texts that that I'm usually known for. Yeah, snip this would be great. Yeah, exactly. It's just like I don't know which decks I will write about, right? Because it's just like there's 7 million versions of Stoneforge decks. There's like 7 million versions of blue-white decks. It's just like nothing is settled. Like there's no standard lists. In the Hogak metagame, like everything was pretty straightforward, right? Like we knew which cards we were gonna be playing against. I knew how to approach all the matchups because I knew what I was playing around and that kind of stuff. And I don't think that's the case right now. I think that the meta is very much all over the place. So I just realized that we have a turn to kill. I didn't even realize that before. Now that I figure out though. Make a printer friendly version for right now if you want to eventually expand. Yeah, that's a possibility. So this is a turn to kill, right? However, if my opponent has Force of Vigor, I lose the game. So I think I'm going to play around the Force of Vigor. Consider also, especially after my opponent goes turn 2 Spirit Mantle, my Bogle go. I am very interested in not dying to like this stupid Bogle, right? And we're going to get the explosives here. Could have also gotten the bounce land there. We'll have a printer version. I mean, I don't know how. Usually in my Cyber guys, I cover like 50 matchups or something. God damn it. I think I'm gonna be like super mega conservative here. And I'm just gonna play Explosive on 1 and pass the turn. Blowing up my own amulet in the process. It hurts. Either front and back it may be possible. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's the Rancor. Another Bogle. They did not play the Rancor. Yeah, they so have a Force of Vigor in hand. They so have the Force of Vigor in hand, it's crazy. Next level place. Next level place. Alright. Wouldn't they have used it already? Not necessarily. Now is the first time that I'm actually putting pressure on them to use the Force of Vigor. Still 2 cards in hand. I mean, now they need to use the Force of Vigor. Alright, I mean, if they don't have it, they leveled me. I mean, it's not gonna matter. Like, I played around the card because I could, and it was very easy for me to do that. Like, my opponent's not doing anything over there because their deck is bad. So... maybe they have a path or something like that? I guess they don't have it. Okay. Radiant Fountain. Delivery West. They only have one. No, they have 2 unknowns now. They play the Rancor. Yeah, so they have 2 unknowns and a cycle. Alright, I mean, we played around the card that wasn't there, but we're going to win anyway, because... yeah. Because their deck cannot beat ours. Is there any way I die here? I don't think so, right? Alright, you got me. Gonna suit up the other boy. Nope. Just making themselves even more susceptible to to engineered explosives. Sounds like a plan. Sounds like a plan. Thing is that all the text that you already wrote on the side guys is still pretty relevant. The only thing is out there is what you put in and out. Yeah, but what I put in and out, like, that is the point. You know? That is the point, is that what you put in and out gets updated very, very frequently. That is why I go through the trouble of writing all the wall of text. So that even right now, I don't need to like write a new cyber guide, because by doing the wall of text, I am like, by reading the wall of text and understanding the wall of text, you should be able to like figure out, even if you make your own tweaks to the deck, which you should, then you can still sideboard very, you can do like, you can make educated decisions. That is the whole point why I wrote all that wall of text. Now, yes, I can update the numbers and stuff, but and I'm probably gonna try to. Maybe I'm not gonna cover all of the decks, but yeah. So yeah, I don't know. That is kind of the point of how I write the sideboard guide. Turn 4 Karn is not gonna be good. Move to 4. Yep. It's one of those like teach a man how to, how does the saying go? Like give a man fish and like they will eat today, and teach them how to cook and they will like eat for the rest of their life, or teach them how to fish, something like that, that kind of thing. And I am very much into like the second camp of things, of trying to make people understand rather than just like, yeah, just like mindlessly put these cards in and take this out, and if you change my list, well, you're screwed. It doesn't seem too productive, you know. Give me a fish, give a man a fish, you feed him for a day, teach him to fish and feed him for the rest of the day. Exactly, that's what I was trying to go for, yeah. Complete writer for me, the only able to play my son, it's difficult to compare my opinion with other people. Oh well, but I mean, but that's my point. You have all my opinion in the wall of text. Right? That is exactly the point of the whole thing. It's like the fact that you know why I'm doing the things that I'm doing, ergo you can do the things because of that. Like, you know, you have the reasons for me doing the things that I do. But yeah, I will still try to make like a, oh sorry, we're playing against Storm, we're probably dead now. I am going to like try to write one anyway. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to like illustrate why I don't think it's particularly necessary, you know what I'm saying? So this is potentially OT gifts into kill me. But nothing I can do, so here we go. Here's a Titan. Next turn I'm gonna get ya. Next turn's gonna be great. You just wait. You just wait. Next turn you're so dead, opponent. You just wait. Next turn I'm so gonna get you. Guess I'm gonna be in the ones that are most likely to kill me. I don't think I'm gonna get a next turn. Yeah, I mean we can Karn Cage. Bugging the cyborg definitely hurts in this matchup. Yeah, it was my end step, so now they untap with all their mana. Yeah, Gifts Ungiven is a very good card. I also appreciate my opponent having the right frame and everything. Not looking great here. Not looking great here. I mean, as far as the cards that I know about, without the dork, they cannot kill me. And they can attempt to go for like gobos, but doesn't really do anything. Wow, no splice? That seems very weird. It's like their hand mono. It does seem like their hand is just mono ritual, so it doesn't matter, but they could have spliced and then metamorphosed. Unless they drew the second ritual of the metamorphose. But like because of how they played everything, it doesn't seem like that was the case. Yo, Holfie, how you doing? We're chilling here. We're hanging out. We're getting wrecked by Storm, as it often happens. Please Grapeshot my Titan. Please Grapeshot my Titan. Are you a Borderlands guy? I tried Borderlands, and I have not been too impressed. It's a fun deck, but it just didn't draw me in. However, let me tell you about Horizon Zero Dawn, though. That game is something else. Envy Willis with that Twitch Prime sub. Welcome back to the Primetime Stronghold. Slam those colossal dreadmos. Oh, we're learning a lot watching you. Oh, thank you so much. You need to play with friends. Oh, fair. Dude, Horizon is just... It's like the most I've been addicted to a game since The Last of Us. Because The Last of Us was just bonkers. Redux with that Twitch Prime sub. Welcome back to the Primetime Stronghold, my friend. Thank you for the continued support. But Horizon is just... It's so pretty. You know? Oh, I am addicted to Amulet. I don't understand what you're talking about. But, you know... When I'm not playing, if I'm playing games, when I'm not playing Amulet in Modo, it's probably that I'm playing Horizon. And there's this game that is one of my favorite games of all time, which is called Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. This is a game from like the early 2000s, and it is considered like an unfinished masterpiece. Basically, that's how I've heard people call it, and they are not wrong. The game is just incredible, but it was rushed, you know. So it was rushed because the producers or whatever, they were trying to like get the game out there, and they just couldn't find like the proper. I don't know. They just didn't have time, or didn't have like the people or whatever. So the game was actually not finished, like, so it has a ton of bugs and stuff, but it's still like one of my favorite games of all time because the story is incredible. It has like playability is through the roof. It's amazing. The graphics were very, very good for their time. They're not awesome anymore, but the point of this is that after like almost like 20 years, they are doing the sequel, and the sequel is coming out next year. And it's literally the first time I've ever been excited about a game being released. It's the first time that I'm actually considering pre-ordering a game. I was missing the survival and the mid-end game of Horizon. You just had everything every time. Materials were pretty much non-existent. So they only have 2 mana. So I think I just bean their rituals. I could bean Metamorphose Desperate. I know their hand is Grapeshot plus blank. Yeah, come, making the switch back to Magic is interesting. I know they have Grapeshot plus something else. So if I give them... I cannot give them their rituals. Yeah, I think I just bean both rituals and just hope that they don't Metamorphose into the nuts. Because if they have another ritual in hand, they might kill me with double Grapeshot. So I think it's better for me to try to hope that they don't draw into it. Because even if they draw into a ritual, that we're still fine. Yeah, so we're just going to be in both rituals. Bison, this is... yeah, so Citizen, Tom, it's basically, like, the game is so good that even with all the bugs, the game is still incredible. It's called Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. It's amazing. If you guys haven't checked it out, I certainly recommend it. Let me see if I can, like, real quick show you what it's about. Alright, yeah, so here it is. It's this one right here. This one right here. Very, very, very recommended. And you can often find it, like, I bought it for like $5 off Steam. And it's definitely worth the $5. And as soon as it gets... And it's funny because, like, they released it on Steam and you still needed to, like, work through you still need to, like, work through, like, get something, like, get like a patch in order to be able to play it. Like, even nowadays it's still not done. It's hilarious. Excited for Final Fantasy VII Remake. That's pretty hot. And so is our draw step over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, this is like the hottest draw step we could have probably had. I guess the other alternative would have been Karn. Primetime, green. So now we Vesuva, the Garrison, and Stronghold. We haste, and now we get a bunch of blue sources so we can make sure that we can pay for both of our pacts. Yeah. Gemstone mine. Swing. Yes. We get Simic, Tolaria. This is gonna be, we have one more land drop still, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, so we have way more than enough. So I think I'm just going to bounce the Garrison, I think. The Vesuva, I think. Excited for Final Fantasy VII Remake. Yeah, I tried Final Fantasy VII. I thought it was pretty sweet, but it's same thing. Like, it just didn't hook me, you know? Which I was expecting it to, it just didn't. But it's fine. I'm a Final Fantasy VIII kind of guy. I think I played Final Fantasy VIII, like, I finished the entire game like 5 or 6 times. I started it like 3 more times after that, which I haven't finished, like in my PS Vita and stuff. And then I just played. I played way too much of that game. It's by far my favorite game of all time. How much does it cost to enter into Geo from zero? So you need $10 to get the. We just won that game, by the way. I have no idea how that happened. You need to start by getting an account, right? Which you can buy an account for $10. And then after that, you can, like, the cards can be actually a little bit expensive, but what you can do is you can get access to rental services that are out there, which you can use to rent cards from, like, places like Mana Traders and stuff. Get out of here, Steam. And you can get your cards that way, so you just pay like a monthly fee, and you can get your cards that way, basically. We just won against Storm on the Multi-4, just saying. Mana Dark, no, I never actually played like the pen and paper RPG. I did play a little bit of D&D when I was younger. It was okay. It was fun. It's just like if you need to play with friends, that game. Like, you can't just, I can't do like the play with people I don't really know. You need to play with friends. So it's better to buy or rent a deck. So I play Amulet like most of the time. So if you're just playing one single deck, it's much better to buy than to rent. Like, much better. However, if you're one of those people that like to jump from deck to deck, then it's much better for you to rent. And this was the first one was a mulligan, 100%. This one has potential. I think I'm gonna keep it. I think I'm gonna bottom the Cavern. I think I'm gonna bottom the explosives. I feel like I need to draw like an Abrade or something if I want to interact with my opponent. The explosive is gonna be too slow. how many points do you win with a 3-2? So with a 3-2, you get back your entry fee, and you also get 1 chest. You can then sell those chests for, right now, chests are around like 240 or something. That's actually a solid draw. Amulet, I think, would have been slightly better, but this is very solid too. I mean, it's the only deck I don't know. I have a very extensive Bodo collection, but it was the vast majority of it was won with Amulet, so it's kind of the same thing. Okay, so we're gonna play the cage here, and then play turf. Hopefully they don't have wipe away, but storm decks have not played wipe away so long. There's no way they can go off and have an answer to the cage here. Like, that's just not fair. So I'm going to assume that that's not going to happen. I ran through mana traders because my is mostly standard and I want to test standard cards before spending it out. Fair enough. Newer MTG cards can get ironically very pricey. 3 cons is over 100 ticks right now. Well, but that's not because of... That's actually because of like eternal formats, right? That was actually not a bad draw, because now we get to play Azusa. My opponent can't remand, and then we get to do this, and we are holding up a Braid. And next turn we can play Simic, bounce Cavern, and replay it, naming Giant. I was playing around remand, that's why I didn't immediately Abrade the Brawl. I love that Gemstone is like, okay, here's the best line in the game, Battle of the Trioses, and it happens that I forget to count counters early on because I know it will never expire, and please don't forget, but you Jamasus and the rest 2 times. Yeah. Yeah, our deck just like gets so much value from Gemstone Mine. Like, people always try to justify playing less than 4, and I'm just like, what are you doing? Why are you making your deck worse? Like, what's the point of making your deck worse? But sure, whatever. Yeah, I saw people like the other day, like somebody in my YouTube channel says, yeah, because I've been experimenting with like -1 gemstone and +1 of the card that this cycling land, like the blue-green cycling land, the canopy land, and I'm like, what? And I like, why are you doing that? It's, well, Field of the Dead makes it better. I'm like, what? So are you playing like a worse, in my opinion, a strictly worst card because of a card that sometimes gives you upside? Like, why? How is that a justification? Yeah, but it's just like you're just making your deck worse. Like, imagine if this had been a cycling land instead of a gemstone mine. You can see the effect here. You can literally see it right now. This is the best land in the deck, and it's not particularly close. I have no idea why people consistently try to justify playing less than 4. The only justification that I think it's actually fair is budget concerns. That's the only way that I would say, okay, it's fine that you're not playing 4 gemstones, because gemstones are for some reason very, very expensive in Moto. Yeah, well, I guess, yeah, they're like 17 tickets or something. Yeah. So Remand doesn't do anything, so we're gonna give them this. Abrade and Graveshot is what we've been. We'd certainly been the Abrade because that's the answer to the cage. And then we've been the Graveshot because it's a win con. I kind of don't want to give them Metamorphose though. That's like free Storm. I think I'm beating the Graveshot. Can your Boral die now, please? Thank you. Appreciate it. Alright, so we float a mana. Play this. Bounce. Or replay. Giant. Oh, whoopsie. I guess I didn't need to do that, huh? So I drew a land. I totally forgot that I drew a land. Classic. Classic me. Classic me. So we can bog them here, or we can do Simic Tolaria. I think I'm gonna do Simic Tolaria. I think one gemstone is less necessary, but past that you get access to white, red, cyber cards, only have 4 sources so hard. Yeah, it's just like you build your deck as a 75 card deck, right? Also, gemstone mine just like makes your EE much better, and like it's just like you're building like a 75 card deck. You're not building a 60 card deck and then you discard it and then you add in 15 cards. It's like you have a conjunction of cards that you're playing, and that's what I don't understand. Just like making bad the conjunction of cards that you're playing. I've used Gemstone Mine to cheat on land drops by using up the counters and then playing it from grave with Rhyme. Yeah, same thing. That's another side effect. How much does I feel to add to the deck? I like the card a lot and I need something new to play now that it's in Phoenix is dead. Oh, yeah, I think it's pretty good. I think it's pretty good. Mentally stable adult. I think it's very, very good. It does a lot of things that we're interested in doing, basically. That's the biggest part. And it stabilizes in a bunch of situations that would otherwise be hard for you to stabilize in. It just does a lot of shutting the door, basically, and sometimes it actually just pulls you ahead. Like, it's nice when you're playing against blue-white or something that you don't even need to cast spells in order to win the game, so you can play around the Karn magic very easily. It does a bunch of things that are pretty good. So we ban the Abrade and the Truth, so we don't die, and we give them the Manamorphose and the Grave Shot. They can kill my Titan if they want, but I was very smart and I got it to Tolaria West last turn, so... But I'm pretty sure that if I give them the Grave Shot, I just lose the game right now on this turn, so... we're currently 1-0 against this Storm player. Passing Flames is so much card advantage. Yep, yes it is. I'd Simic Tolaria, they can't Abrade, let's go off next turn. Yeah, well, maybe they can. I don't know what their hand looks like. Make a ton of mana. Oh, never mind, I'm dead, right? Yeah, I am dead. Now they just Grave Shot. Oh, that was dumb, actually. I should have given them the Echoing Truth. Because now they just Abrade. They just Grave Shot, target all the copies at me. Oh. What? Yeah, no, they're just Fielding Storm. Yeah, that doesn't matter. Yeah, so now they Grave Shot me, they remand their Grave Shot, and I die. How many answers do they still have though? 1 Echoing Bin and 2 Abrade. Yeah, actually could. Yeah. Just have to be careful with field against goblins. Dex, Loyal, Legionist has a text at the bottom. Yeah. I actually explained that, and that's one of the reasons that... I mean, the 8-wack deck, it doesn't really exist anymore, really. But it's one of the things that I explained in my sideboard guide is the fact that you need to... I don't bring in Hornet Queen because of that card, basically. Yeah, I'm gonna submit the same thing. Guess you didn't get Gender before that. Yeah, I don't think anything that... I guess we could have given them different cards. Like, if I give them the Echoing Truth, they have the Piff in hand, so it doesn't matter. Like, my opponent just had it. There was nothing that I could have done to stop him. Yeah. Yeah, that was it. Like, there was no way for me to stop them from killing me there. If I do give them either the Echoing Truth or the Abrade, they just like bounce or destroy my cage, and they piff and go off anyway. So benefits of Tournament: your Storm opponent gets gutted by discard package. Yep. Maybe that's why Storm isn't doing so well right now. Is like the fact that there's so much discard. because the metagame is so mid-rangey. And I guess Force of Negation might be also a big deal for Storm. Face it regularly in my game stores. Yep. Yeah, Lily is very hard for them to beat, but they have emptied for that for that reason. However, Plague Engineer, that card is legit. That card is very good. I'm sad that I didn't buy my copies in Moto, because now it's spiked absurdly right now. Plague Engineer is currently 29 tickets. Ursa is 30, Prismatic Vista is 32, Force of Negation is 73 ticks? Holy crap. Wow. Just some TG Goldfish says we're the 8th biggest deck in the meta. I mean, the Goldfish data is not easy to analyze, right? Because they're only showing, it's considering that, you know, people are only showing one that Wizards is only showing a single what am I trying to say here, like just one list, like one copy of a deck. Opponent doesn't mulligan because they always have it. It's pretty brutal. I mean, we have a little bit of interaction, but whether it's going to be enough or not, it's about to be seen. Can't watch stream because I have to download a program at work. The struggle is real. I'm glad that I'm helping you not work, Richin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I guess I would like an untapped source, because I'm playing the bounce land anyway. And I'm playing the red bounce land, even if I find a Simic. If I had seen a Gruul Turf there, maybe I would have taken it over the Gemstone Mine. No, I still don't think so, because the Gemstone Mine is gonna be my second blue in case I draw. What's his name? In case I draw Tolare West. Thank you, brain. Helping me not to work so hard. First the vigor is like 11 ticks. Yeah, Collector Roof is 15, 16. Happy that I got all my playsets of those cards. But like in paper, I actually bought a couple of Plague Engineers. Like I have 5 Plague Engineers right now, even though I'm obviously never gonna use 5, but it's because I think that it's going to, like in a year or so, unless it gets reprinted out of its mind, it's gonna spike very hard, just like it is right now, because I think that card is busted. Classic clock discrepancy. Classic clock discrepancy. I can Titan next turn. I just don't think I'm going to. Ugh, they shocked. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to. I'm going to hold up Instant Speed Bug. I guess that's nice, because now I can abrade twice, even through a remand. And it also gives me some interaction, while kind of hopefully baiting the abrade, instead of my scout getting killed by it. I mean, it looks a super fun deck, but I've already bought in and invested so heavily in my Genesis list and Blue Moon, it's hard to justify buying into sales. Yeah, it's rough. Like, decks, you know, are not cheap. Decks are certainly not cheap, so that's how I felt when I bought into Amulet Titan 2, and it sucks because sometimes the cards don't overlap with other decks, but the enjoyment I get from Amulet Titan is unrivaled. gotta weight the cost of enjoyment ratio. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Like, if I could have only a single deck, it would definitely be Amulet, and it's not particularly close. I do own other decks. I do own like Grixis Shadow and a bunch of other decks. Even in Moto, I just own so many decks in Moto. But like all the decks that I own in Moto are just like, I don't know. It's just like they don't. I don't know. I just get bored of them way faster than I get bored of Amulet. Well, we can't stop them from answering my stuff. So I'm banning the Abrade for sure. I think I ban the Abrade and repeal. Repeal because it draws a card, and Abrade because it answers for good my stuff. Oh, you play Shift. It has some overlap with Shift. Also, once you unamulate, it doesn't seem to get a ton of expensive property that it needs. I mean, Lattice was the last one, basically. Ritual. Electromancer. 3 damage to this guy. Could try 100 scales. Yes, I think so. I think so too. And I own it both in paper and in Moto. Yeah, I do like scales a lot. It's very cool. Tons of very interesting lines. There's also a little decks in Modern Legacy, but over the years I have owned probably 5 different Amulet title lists, and I currently have my complete foil out, either the OG or first foil printing. Nice, good taste, Aaron. Good taste. Been trying to build Blue-White X Control as second deck for a while now, and every other set it gets 200 worth of cards you need to play it. Yeah, I know, it's pretty bad. With those decks in particular, Dugraded Damage should be in 30 cards or whatever nonsense it is. Wow, that's crazy. I didn't know it was that expensive. When I bought Titan cards, I knew there was Groves, Azusa, and Amulets. Groves and Azusa were like 20 bucks a piece, and Amulets were like 20 bucks for a playset. Yep. Why would you play Grixis? Echoing Truth, their own guy. Resolves. Good Lattice for 15 bucks. That's very smart. I bought it like 2 weeks ago. I had been borrowing mine for a friend for a long time, and yeah, the other day I actually bought it. The stuff for this Shadow, but I don't really play it anymore. Yeah, it's like it's one of those decks that, you know, I don't know. It's cool and everything, but I don't know. I get tired of those kind of decks. Amulet. Well, we can't transmute Primeval Titan. We're just getting Simic Tularia here, right? It seems like the same thing that happened to us last game is going to happen this game as well. Just like our opponent is going to beat us without using their graveyard, just by remanding their own grave shots and stuff. Rough. I just definitely borrowed my commander's friend Lattice. Yeah, I know. Lattice was so cheap at some point. Like, it was always kind of expensive, but it was like definitely much cheaper than it is right now. Why would they ritual before playing an Electromancer? That is so weird. Bill Scales and nothing going, I've enjoyed it quite a bit. Yeah, the deck is super sweet. That is a deck that I do enjoy a lot. I should probably play it a little bit more, experiment a little bit more with the deck. Captain of Baltimore, the only mythic I ever opened was, you guess. Yeah, I know. I had available lattice from a draft with friends and I sold it for $5. Ooh, that feels bad. This was $60, yeah. It's not like the price of Knuckle. Yeah, I mean, nothing is the price of Knuckle though, right? Isn't it like literally the most expensive card in all of Magic? Like the most expensive card that you can't get other copies of, basically. Because of course duels are more expensive, right? But you can get duels cheaper. You cannot really get Knuckle cheaper. Yeah, we're just getting faced here. I mean, this is just the Storm matchup in a vacuum, you know? It's just really bad. Just found out my Gentlemen are 150 each. Nice value. I had a bunch of model decks that then they banned looting. Now I just have Tron. Feels bad, man. Alright, I don't have another Remand or don't have another Grape Shot. That is my out. It feels like they do. Yep, they're ongoing phase, so it's probably us being dead. Do you think red or white sideboard is better against the Shadow and Control? Hey, meta, white by far. Path to Exile and Celestial Torch are insane against Shadow. Red is more for like the Ursa decks and stuff. Alright, so they just had the other Grape Shot. Just gonna show them that we had the Bujuki Bog. And then we're going to concede. Can you imagine if we just had like Radiant Fountain? I don't know, like Radiant Fountain Plus. I guess that was a defensible thing to get, huh? But if I get that and I don't set up an X-Titan, then my opponent just gets me by... Rebuild. That's funny. I could have gained like 4 life. It wouldn't have mattered. My last kind of stars is yes, have held their value even though I don't use them much. Yep, I have like a place of fetches and stuff. Will you ever play some poppers? I don't know of any decks that excites me in popper, honestly. I could. It's the only format that I don't think I'll ever play on stream is standard, because that format is stupid. Cards are very expensive and rotation sucks, so huge fan of Greasy's Pyromancer and Greasy's stuff really make me happy. I've been dabbing in control as well, it's pretty neat. Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're good decks, but they're certainly fun. Just bought Inventions, Chalices, and Bridge at the GP. I sure hope that they hold value. Yeah, usually those like premium style cards always hold their value. Just might look partially digested, but they were the 4 paper ones I've ever found. Nice hand. Funny how we won the move to 4 against Storm, and then we just couldn't beat my opponent's other draws, even though we had multiple pieces of interactions and stuff. They just had it all both times. Will we get fetches again in the new Zendikar set? For sure. If you are thinking about buying fetches, it might be worth the wait. I think that Maro said that they wouldn't ever again print fetches into standard, because they wanted to like minimize the amount of shuffling. I think. I don't know if that's actually something that he said, or it's like something that maybe somebody implied or whatever. I don't know, but I heard something to that. I mean, I heard something like that. I don't know whether it's actually true or not, but maybe. Glad I got my set during Mirrodin. Oh, Mirrodin, yeah. They'll get some PSC-esque reprint. Yeah, maybe something like that. Typical, I mean, win first game versus Storm and then move to 4, then lose the next. So yeah, classic. 80% dream is dead. I know. Rough. Popper is fun for HBL. I have to play standard. In paper, everyone to play paper. Oh, yeah, I could just from the favorites. Popper games play out too similarly and too slowly for me. I do know that the format is like crazy slow. Like glacially slow. I guess I'm gonna flush this one in, right? Yeah, because I don't want to transmute for explosives here, so. I mean, yeah, like, it's one of the things, right? Like a bunch of my viewers come because they know what to expect here. Like they know that I'm very likely to be streaming Modern and Amulet. So there's certainly something to be said in terms of like, you know, branding as a streamer for sure. All right, so next turn we're going to just play Scout, basically. Pay for Pact and play Scout. I still don't want to... I don't know whether I want to transmute for Meddling Mage or not. Ha! Oh, yes. Nice 2-1 for 2. I'm excited to try Once Upon a Time in Tron. Being goldfishing with it seems very strong. It certainly seems interesting. Oh yeah, this is great. My opponent is just doing their best to try to help me win this game. So we pay for Pact here. Play another Turf. Opponent's draw is anemic. Yeah, it's not great. I mean, if they have Meddling Mage here, that stops us for a second, but now, like, because we did not... Like, first of all, they wasted an image, right? This could have copied our Effector Mage and actually stopped one of my Titans. Take 5 here. And if they have Meddling Mage, because I'm holding the T-West, I can, like, get... Walking Ballista or Explosive, so even if they have Mage plus another Phantasmal Image or Mage plus Mage or whatever, it doesn't matter. You just keep on wasting Reflector Mages. Oh no, Ranger Captain. That one's actually pretty good. I don't know, that's so much money they would be turned away if you don't see a company taking advantage of that. I mean, it's... Teehee. I think we just... Yeah, I think we just Titan here. Titan and 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so I guess we're gonna get a couple of zombies. We need to flash in the T-West here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because that's gonna be our land here. And then we already have the explosives in hand, so we don't need to transmute for it. So we're just gonna get Colony plus Field, I think. And get some blockers. See, maybe she will finish the Horizon cycle. Maybe, maybe not. Been watching Fran to get better match for months. I join live now when my wife is teaching piano because the baby likes Fran's voice and won't bug me while I watch. That's awesome. Glad that my voice is soothing to your baby. That's awesome. Kennedy plays mostly Draft. Vacation plays Modern Legacy, mostly runs Tips. Other play mostly Standard. Flan plays Samuel. Oh yeah, like, that's what I do. Alright, I guess we're playing the Explosives on 2. But we're in a situation here where most of our draws are pretty good. So here we chump. Like if we draw a bounce land, that's probably like our single best draw. I think we double block the Ranger Captain here. We trade. We take 5. That's nice actually. That's very nice actually. Whew, all right. Game looking very good now. Game looking super good now. Play Azusa. Sambo. Sambo. Explosives on 2. And the nice thing is that we don't even need to crack this explosives. And we we just crack it EOT to prevent future meddling mages, and we simply just play our prime time whenever the time is right. The only annoying thing would be the Deputy of Detention. They have the Deputy. They have the Deputy, that's crazy. Wow. That's insane. It's probably like a one-off. It's probably a freaking one-off. God damn it. I mean, I think I'm still fine though, right? That's not lethal. That's just like on chomp. Wow, they're attacking with the meddling mage. So 1, 2, we jump here, blow both of these up, take 4. Yeah, they kind of get me if they have another meddling mage, but probably that's not the case. No, it doesn't. It's a trigger. It's different than Valakut. So we're down to 3. I would love to not be dead too. What's the best thing we can do here? Explosives on 3. Yeah, so we're gonna gain some life and we're gonna play an explosives on 3. So do we have mana for everything? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Titan. 1, 2, 3 transmute. 1, 2. No, we don't have enough mana for both. So I guess if they have another deputy, we kinda die, but not much we can do. I guess we can transmute for Pact of Negation, which is weird against humans, but yeah, just that way, because both of these are unhuman, and the cards that we care about are Deputy and Phantasmal Image, and we can counter those. Rotorok with a Twitch Prime sub. Here's to many more months to come. Thank you so much, Rotorok. Welcome back to the Primetime Stronghold. 4th subscriber of the day. Thank you so much. I want to see you play some high deck. Yeah, Uvidentes, if you're interested in seeing me play literally any deck, as long as it's not standard, basically, you can make a donation to the stream, and with any donation of $12 or more, I will play whatever you want, basically. Yeah, we're just gonna do Garrison and this. I think, as weird as it is, I think I'm gonna transmit for Pact of Engagement, yeah. Delver Guy with a Twitch Run sub, thank you so much for the support, Delver Guy. Welcome to the Primetime Stronghold. Share some Primetime love in the chat. I could have hasted, I know, Roadrock, but I'm more interested in transmuting. I'm playing around what my opponent... I think that if I don't die, I'm going to win, right? So I'm trying to make sure how my opponent is going to die, how my opponent can win, and the way that my opponent wins is if they... have another deputy, because they get rid of all my zombies and I cannot block. So I'm playing around that, and hasting doesn't really help me get there. Like, that uses my mana, that means that I cannot transmute anymore, so... What if someone donated for you to play standard deck in a mono deck? Well, I would probably do that, but it would need to be like the donation, plus you need to give me the entire deck. Because that's like the... I don't have like a rental service, right? So... And I would probably raise the donation a little bit, so I will make it like... maybe... like $15 instead of 12. But yeah, I mean, the problem is that like I have a pretty extensive modern collection, modern and legacy collection, but I don't have a standard collection, and I'm not interested in getting a standard collection either. So that is the main thing. More zombies. Oh, Big Monkey. I was missing you so much. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being here, making all of our days better. Your presence shoots some light into this stream. What to do? We can let you play Psychomatic instant. I mean, I will definitely raise the bar. I love like you know that Jeff Hoogland was he's always doing like the donation lists things, you know, and he was like, if you want me to play Lantern, it's not this, like the donation needs to be like $200, and somebody actually went and paid the $200 for him to play Lantern just to troll him. I mean, honestly, Jeff is kind of a genius, like being able to get people to give him that much money. It's kind of insane. So we're slowly but surely pulling ahead here. So this is going to force my opponent to put a bunch of things in front of this prime time if they want to block it. They don't. I think I'm not using my mana. I guess the blocker is more important. You're back on Cage over Crit. We're testing it. How has Balo been for you? Balo has been a necessity, Feno, basically. It's been fine. Here is a thought. Splash Black, add Hive Mind, Summer Bloom, and up Nixilis. That sounds like a great plan, Big Monkey. Maybe for a different format. Okay, so this, Sage, Queen, Explosives, and that's about it. Cut the Karns, cut the Relic, cut the Pact of Negation. And probably cut the Summoner's Pact. Yeah, this sounds right to me. I usually cut Steerings in this matchup too, but on the draw, Steering seems better than the fourth Pact, especially with all these threats that we have here. He raised the Lantern price to 1,000 after... Oh, he did? What a freaking genius. Is that really a troll? 200, I feel like they got... Yeah, no, that's my point, man, Dork. That's my point. Like, he's a genius because he actually got somebody to, you know, donate $200 to him for him to play on stream. So that's what I would do with, like, a standard deck in Modern. Summer Bloom is a balanced card? Indeed. Indeed. It's balanced right now where it is... it's balanced where it is right now, which is the ban list. I'm trying very hard to find room for a third raid cyber, but I really don't want to give up my second negative. But I mean, that's what I did. So I was doing the same thing that you are doing right now, except I actually pulled the trigger. That's the only difference. Ugh. The fact that they have the Noble Heart kind of sucks, because like I need to go turn 1 Amulet, and well, I guess that's not a terrible draw, because now I can Scout and Abrade, depending on what my opponent does. Unless what they do is a Damping Sphere, in which case we kind of just lose the game on the spot. Or Knight of Autumn. They can Knight of Autumn, so that's a relief. Is the bug in the cyber now? Yes, it is, Sniff Power. Feel that is in the main deck, and you see exactly why. There'll be Thalia here. Thalia would be mildly annoying. I guess it just breaks off my curve. It's not terrible, but it's a little bit annoying. We're on the Discord, the Cyber Guy. Thank you for the stream, by the way. Oh, thank you, the other guy. Yeah, so what you need to do is you need to link your Twitch to your Discord. Every couple of hours, it updates, so you can actually. Oof, no, that's not lethal. So you can. You will need to wait a couple of hours for it to link, but once it does, you basically will get access to both of the cyber guys. Like all the cyber guys that I've written so far are there, because they are basically sub channels and you can only access them after you're a sub. Here I'm not playing into Deputy basically, and I'm gonna break this Mantis Rider because it's gonna kill me very, very quickly, so. If we could play some rule, we would. Very sad it cannot have Blooming Modern. Yeah, it's. I think it's fine that it got banned, honestly. This card is a big drawback to the fly card. Why Cage and why Ramulep over Crucible? Cage, because I'm trying it out. Cage is also relevant against Devoted Druid decks, while Crypt is not, and that is basically the main idea. As far as the other one goes, as far as Raminap, it's because in the matchups where you want to have access to the effect the Raminap gives, it's way easier for you to just, you know, you have more copies of the card. I think I'm gonna play a Ballista for 1 and pass a turn. Or just pass a turn? I know that I could have packed it for Azusa, made a ton of mana, play a big Ballista or even Hornet Queen, but it's just like I'm trying to play around Damping Sphere. And next turn I can play Amulet and Titan all in the same turn. So I'm trying to play around Deputy by doing this. I kind of want to have the Ballista hanging out here though. So we're just going to play the Ballista for 1 and just pass a turn. I don't think I want to trade with the Hierarch. I think this Ballista is going to be more relevant than that. You're about to see human play Charming Prince. You think so, Gage? Then it's possible. I'm going to take 3. Again, I don't want to use my Ballista yet, because if my opponent plays a Medley Mage or something, next turn I can go Amulet. What is this? Ranger Captain. Oh, Captain, my Captain. Of Eos. Soul Herder. Yeah, you're probably gonna... Soul Herder, you're going probably a little bit too deep there, Cage. Maybe that one is one too many, but... Alright, sweet, so we're gonna get to Titan here. As long as we don't draw neither Vesuva nor Bogles Garrison, we should be fine. No Vesuva or Bogles Garrison, please. Oh, sweet. Now we don't need to pact. Now we get to double Titan, so we actually have lethal. Sick. Should have activated Ranger Captain, bro. Yep. This is still lethal, so it's fine. We could, in response to this, like after we cast the amulet, in response to that, we could have packed it, but it's just like, why, you know? Well, I guess the reason is because I don't think. Oh yeah, I actually punted. I mean, it's not gonna matter. Boros Vesuva. Should you have played Scout along with the Ballista? I would if my opponent hadn't Reflector Maged my Scout. So that was the turn that I couldn't play it. Otherwise, yes, I would have 100 played out the Scout. Yeah, now I can't double strike. So it was I think it was a punt actually. And I can't Scout, but I'm going to Radiant Fountain, Colony Garden. Actually, I'm going to Colony Garden, Gems, Colony Garden plus Forest, I think. Same issue as always, I don't want to die to Dumping Sphere. Yeah, yep. If I had 2 colonies, I would have gotten 2 colonies, but you want me to give them hope? So now we do this, and now I'm actually going to kill the noble. Ping there. And I'm probably going to be pinging the champion as well. Like at this point, my opponent cannot Reflector Mage and also Meddling Mage, so... Well, I guess actually because of that, I'm not going to do anything here. No, merely your human support never did have a statistic. Oh, no, we're gonna get them. See? Easy, 2-0 against humans. Easy. This is great. I think calling it free is definitely an overstatement, but turn to Karn on the play sounds good to me. But I think that if you're like, once you side out your bad cards and you bring in good cards instead, it's definitely it makes the game considerably easier. Basically, is what I'm trying to say. Because her bad cards are really bad, and her good cards are very good. So it's a great combination. Plus on nothing, plus to you. Strong turn 2. Just doing him dirty, Francisco. I mean, if my opponent bolts my Azusa, I am actually not very far ahead, right? Wagner MTG, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Yes. Lattice. Playing a mana leak, that's why I added all of this mana. And now we win. And oh, this is my favorite thing about the Lattice lock. It's not that I win the game, it's the fact that I get 2 steerings for basically Demonic Tutor for the top 5 cards of the deck. That's my favorite thing about Mycosynth Lattice. The fact that we won the game on turn 3 is pretty much irrelevant. But we could have steered into anything. Maybe steer into a Titan. I feel like 1 negate, I feel like I want Rex H, and I think that I probably want Baloth. I'm putting my opponent on some kind of like Blue Moon strategy of sorts. I'm gonna do Bog over Colony Garden. Steer into Titan, GG's, yeah. Nice modern deck opponent. What do you guys think? This guy's playing humans is better than good. I think humans is fine. It's always a fine deck. It's just never incredible. I mean, it was incredible at one point, I guess. But it's just a fine deck. It's always a fine deck. Not sure whether I want to braid or not. I guess we're gonna find out after we play game 2. If our opponent just beats us with a bunch of stuff. The Bertoncini special, yep, indeed. Steering into hardness scales, except we don't get per lifetime ban for doing it, you know. This is why steering is better than Once Upon a Time. Exactly. Why are people ignoring the Lattice interaction? They moved to 6. This hand looks fine, I think. It's certainly slow, but I have a basic forest against a matchup where I expect to face Blood Moon. I have a Karn. And I can steerings Vesu. I can copy my opponent's island, so I can further so I can do explosives on 3. We draw an amulet, which is solid. I might just be like Vesuva in my own forest here. Silver Falls. Ha. Certainly so, my friend. Certainly so. I certainly want a Vesuva here. I think it's gonna Vesuva my basic forest. Definitely playing around Moon here. Playing Engineer Rascal is so hard for humans. Yep. Particularly Engineer. Engineer is such a beating. Redundant thing in the ice. You got it, OP. You got it. Steerings. Pog. Steerings into Pog. This was a... Okay, so they have the lightning bolt here, which sucks, but only a little bit. My opponent seems to be in like a mid-range style deck, so they are not that likely to flip the things on their next turn. But I probably want to play around Cryptic Command. I get got by a Braid, obviously, but I think I'd rather play around Cryptic. What do you think of this in Amulet? Once Upon a Time? Yeah, we talked about that multiple times already. Big Monkey. I think it's gonna be worse than Steerings, but playable. That's the short version. The TLDR. Playable, but worse than Steerings for us. Blue Moon or Bad Phoenix? Either or. I mean, does it really matter? Flame Slash. Sure. No idea why this is in your deck, but another thing? Holy crap. I mean, yeah, right? Next turn we're gonna have access to Pact of Negation. This is fine. I guess I should have done it for 3 to play around Spell Snare, I think. You can find your payoff or ram, so I like it. Yep. Yep. So does Steerings in the current versions of Amulet. Alright. I think the fact that it doesn't find artifacts is 2 mana is a huge drawback. I think it's better the cards that we... Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. I think that the shell that we have is... All the cards that we're playing currently are better than that. I don't think the card is bad by any means, but... I think that everything else that we got going on is just better. That's basically the story. Think 2 mana for the deck is not that much of a drawback. I disagree. It's not that much of a drawback in the late game. In the early game it is. Like, it fits weirdly into our curve. Our curve is usually like 1 into 3 because of not only because of Amulet, but also because of bounce lands and tap lands. So 2 mana is actually super awkward for us. Pillage, destroy my Amulet. How can I ever beat that? If only I didn't have another one. Easy. Even Magmatic Sinkhole doesn't do it here. Playing against Blue Moon. What else you got? What else do you got, opponent? Tolaria and Field of the Dead, sure. So now we play this, we get another zombie. We transmute for a pact. We crack explosives, pass a turn, holding up Pact of Negation. Blood Moon plus counter spells. You got it, opponent. You got it. In turn 1, you can play it for free. Yes, if it's in your opener. So it's basically the Leyline effect, right? We talked about why I don't think that Amulet can play Leyline. This is the same thing. Like if it's not in your opening hand, like if it's your first draw step after you like played your Amulet on 1 or you steered on turn 1, then it just fits so awkwardly into your curve. It's good on turn 1 exactly, or it's good on turn 6, 7 plus basically. But in those turns, which is when most of the magic happens, they're gonna be very awkward in your draw, in our curve. But yeah, I mean I do think it's playable. I don't think it's bad. Like Adventurous Impulse was also like playable, but like kind of medium. This is probably gonna be better than Impulse, but worse than Steerings for sure. I'm 100% sure it's going to be worse than Steerings, and it might also be worse than Explore, but I'm not so sure about that. So Amulet into Hope that we draw action. I don't think I like that. So Steerings into Hope that we don't draw action. I don't think I like this one either. Sure, this one I'm keeping. Keep. Bottom this, bottom this. If we draw a bounce down, we have a turn 3 kill. Titan Tutor is more Titan, so you don't need that card anyway, so I understand the appeal of having a Tutor for Titan, but I just don't think it's necessary or makes the deck better. Ugh, okay. Shouldn't say good, should this makes them live or not dead cards. Maybe more viable with some flyers. This deck might be more viable with, what? What are you talking about, Tom? You're not talking about Amulet, right? We have all the flyers we need right here. We're playing against Shadow. Oh, we're super dead. We multi-5 against Shadow. Oh, the last deck, okay. I mean, they needed V-Click over there. Yeah, this is just not... not even remotely close to beatable for us. Turn 1 Thoughtseize, turn 2 Thoughtseize into that Shadow. That's... yeah, we just don't beat that. That's not a start our deck gets to be able to beat. But this Santa would have bottomed the colony, not the third amulet. Nope, I disagree there. Because if you draw a bounce on turn 3, then the card that you got is doing the third amulet is not doing anything until turn 4, right? I mean, I'm playing the Azusa. It's probably not gonna do anything. And I die to Kolaghan's Command. I die to, I guess, Fatal Push. I mean, they're whiffing. Okay, this is how we win. If we top deck a Titan, we actually win. Titan? Titan? Just give Primetime some love. And Primetime shall deliver. What a beautiful story. What a beautiful story. Stronghold, Gruul Turf. Bounce this, play this. So who said in chat that they would have bottomed the Colony Garden there? Who said in chat that we were gonna bottom the Colony Garden there when it was my second green source? Show yourself. Who was it? Because on the attack trigger, I'm gonna get a Vesua, copy in Garrison, and then like something else. It just doesn't matter. Like we're just gonna kill them. Redux. So you would have lost that game. I want Rex Sage. I don't think I want Force. Probably want Ramunams because of Fulminators. Results-oriented thinking? No. Like I explained why I made the decision that I made. So it's just confirming what I said. Like it's confirming my explanation. It's not results-oriented thinking. I think I like Cavern over Ghost Quarter. By the way, how you doing, Davius? I can't remember what it was. It was like triple amulet. Yeah, so it was Pact, triple amulet, Kalni, Forest, explosives, and it was a mul to 5. So I bottomed the explosives and the third amulet. That was tongue in cheek. If the bounce was winning, it would have been better. Yes, but it wasn't. That's what I'm saying. So you took yourself out of outs. You see what I'm saying? You're cutting yourself off outs. If I had played out the bounce line instead of holding in hand, I would have lost. If I had... like a lot of things could have gone differently and I would have lost instead of winning. Do I want to Braids in this matchup? Do they have Damp Sphere? Like, I'm bringing in the Sage because of Scholar. I don't think I like Karn, actually. So let's change the plan here. We're gonna do this. Yeah. Yeah! Maybe no Walking Ballista. Maybe I will take out the Walking Ballista for an Abrade later. I mean, I know that I'm playing against Grixis Shadow now, so I just keep any 7s that have lands, basically, because the spells that I have in my hand don't really matter. EE instead of Boros. Yeah, but I was in the blind. So in the blind, I'm 100% never keeping an EE there. I'd much always rather have a proactive game plan. Like, what if I'm paired against Tron, right? Inquisition. Okay, so that's probably taking the amulet. It does indeed take the amulet. Alright, steerings. Find me a bounce. Sweet. You see, you just ask nicely, and then the deck is like, yo, bro, I gotcha. I gotcha. And I think I'm very interested in blanking future Inquisitions, so I'm just going to do this. Just steer again here. Ugh. Yeah, I think I'm going to play around Fulminator. That amulet is tempting, but... Ha! Ha! I got my bounce land now. Got him. Now I get to get value with my colony. Yeah, I can trust me, so I'll just wait. No unearth, please. Ranger Captain. I mean, they need a Thoughtseize. Otherwise, we're gonna get him. Or a TBR, right? If they have a TBR and then they make the shadow lethal, I also just die. No crack. Interesting. How far away am I from field? 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm super far away. Yeah, I can't really play the explosives right now because of Hex Parasite. Well, it's not really a choice because Ranger Captain is blanking my explosives, right? But now I'm just like, I'm putting like some extra pressure on them, basically. If they have the TBR, I just die, right? Like there's nothing I can do about that. Definitely blocking if I'm given the chance. Snap it off. One, two, three, 4, 5. Yeah, they just have the TBR. Yeah, I mean, I could not have played around this anyway, right? So it's just like they just have it, so they kill us. They're gonna show me a K command for no reason. Oh, they just TBR in the other guy as well, just for value. Still had all these. Still had all these. Yeah, I think this is fine. The only big question mark is the walking ballista. God damn it. God damn it, this hand. Ugh. Alright. Not playing the explosives yet. No discard. Well, the only bad thing is that I'm still kind of missing something. Like one land. God damn it. Please don't fulminate me, bro. Please don't fulminate me, bro. Oh, that's good for us. Once upon a time would make those hands a lot more keepable. Does it really though? That's shadow. Tap land. Alright, that one works too. Alright. Can we get there against the shadow deck? No Scoutcast, there's literally an engineered explosives on 1 on board. This is Colonel's Command Insurance. If I cast the Scout, it's gonna die to my Colonel's Command, so certainly not interested in that happening. Stone Thoughts is me, please. Unearth. Yeah. Hex Parasite resolves. I don't think this works how my opponent wants it to work. Filiani, thank you for the follow. Yeah, I'm certain that didn't work like my opponent would have wanted it to work. Giant. Wee. Alright, sweet. Now what do we find here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're gonna do Tolaria Bog, I think. What? 1, 2, 3. Okay. I am completely perplexed by my opponent's play there. Alright, Bog Tolaria. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, because Field of the Dead doesn't do anything. So next turn I'm gonna have 1, 2, 3 transmute. Play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so I have enough. So this is just better. Bog to blank Unearths. And passing off the turn. The old free info path? Yeah, it's a classic. Yeah, they make them. I know. I know what Parasite is there for, but I think that they play. But there was no reason for them to actually play it out. I think that they played it out because they thought that if I do that, then they're gonna. Like if they activated a response, they can take the counter off my what's his name? My engineered explosives. That's what I was trying to say. So now we're doing Field of the Dead and can I beat TBR? Drisky's, thank you for the follow. That's good. And that's probably game. Yep, it is indeed game. Yeah, they might have thought they were playing around Blue Pact, but that's like literally the first card that I cybered out. I don't know. Alright, so it's not 80% win rate amulet, it's only 70% win rate amulet today. 3-2 into 4-1. 80% win rate for that league, exactly. Deck is gasoline. Deck is very, very good. It makes me super sad that now I don't have 69. Okay, I don't do this very often, but there's some nice value to be had here. So, for this time only, I will open 2 chests. The value is just too high to pass up. So, get ready. Here we go. Wasted money, number 1. Sanctum of Eternity. What the hell is this? From the Battlefield during hand? Okay. Whatever. 15 PPs. And boom. Nice. Wow. Look at this waste of $2.50. But we got there. We got there. Worth it. Hashtag worth it. You do not recommend to open the chest? I'm opening them like no, it's definitely a waste of money. They are what is it? They are Goatbots is buying them for 230. That was definitely way less than 230 for each one of them. Yep. And I also expect that at some point, like at some point, they need to put the Modern Horizons cards in the chests, and at that point, as soon as that happens, the prices of the chests have to go up, and then slowly the Modern Horizons cards will going to go down in value. The important is that you crack play points. So I cracked 20 play points total right there, which is roughly $2. So yeah, I lost $2.60. I lost that basically. So yeah, as you can see, it's a waste. it's certainly a waste. However, list is awesome. This list is awesome. What I tried today was the cage over a Tormod script. Actually, it's weird that the Tormod script would have been better against Storm when I played right now. I think that one of the matches I would have been able to give my opponent answers to the Tormod scripts, and then that would have given them less cards. I think they had a remand that they used to kill me when they remanded their own grave shot and stuff. So the Tormod script would have been significantly better there. We played against Dredge, where both cards are just unbeatable for them. And yeah, I'm just not sure that Cage is better. Honestly, I was expecting to see a very big uptick in meme brand and the Druid decks, and it just hasn't been happening. So maybe it's a matter of just having Tormod script instead. 69 is more value than 260. I know, that's rough. That's right. Satchel is half a ticket. You're kidding me, right? Like, really? How is this half a ticket? What does it do even? I know that it's worth money in because of Commander. Druidic Satchel. All right. Godwat's list EV of chest at 243. But yeah, but that is if you open like a lot of them, I think. Your lost almost gave me a perfect score in the modern casual tournament today. I'm really into Amulet Titan. So thanks a lot for stream tutorials. Oh yeah, Scarlett, you got it. That is exactly what I was. Oh, my list. Oh, got it. Sweet. Yes, the list is very, very good. It really is. It really is excellent. How is the game plan versus Wirsa? Play Karn. GG's. Karn can minus Repiting Needle, which stops the combo as well. A Braid is good against Ursa. Force of Vigor good against Ursa. Sage good against Ursa. Explosives good against Ursa. Yeah. Karn is just pretty much unbeatable for them. Morning, have we tried Gracer main deck and Ballista Sideboard or Sage mainboard Ballista Sideboard? I have not, but I don't really see a reason for that. Having the Ballista has been very good. I said 2-0 with mini would actually be valuable to open. It's just such a pain in the arse to trade all the stuff inside the bags. Yeah, well, but it is if you're. I think it is higher value if you don't open, right? Because when you sell the cards inside the packs, then they are buying them for less value, right? Because they need to make a profit. So if you factor in that value, that difference in value between what they sell and what they buy for, then it's like the difference is actually not worth it. It's just much better to have it ticks. At least that's the way that I see it. And it's also the fact that again, I'm waiting for them to add the Horizons cards so that the chests are going to be more valuable. What are the top 3 worst pairings to face? Blue-Black Mill, Infect, Blue-Black Mill, Neoform, Infect, probably in that order. Feel like you should always needle Foundry. More often than not, sometimes you needle Mystic Forge, it prevents them from going off. Depending on what they have going on, you might need to needle Ursa if that's literally all they have going on. Just preventing them from drawing cards is good too. Because sometimes just Karn just locks them out anyway. Like Karn himself just locks the combo up. But they might find like a trophy or something that kill the Karn, so you want to have like the needle as insurance, so they don't just kill you. It's going to get shut down, but with the lack of blood moons about and the 3 cyber race, I don't hate cutting Force Vigor. I have been liking Force a lot, not even against blood moons, it's just like against Ursa, against Scales, against Affinity, against the Infect. It just has a lot of uses right now. I think that, now that I think about it, lately with this list, I have beaten Blood Moon more times than I've lost to it. We beat the blue-red Blood Moon deck today. We beat the mono-red Blood Moon deck last week when I played against it. I beat the black-red mid-range Blood Moon deck yesterday when I was playing an off-stream league. It's just Karn just doesn't care about Blood Moon. It's great. Druid and Red's Prison are also pretty shit. I mean, they're not great. I was expecting them to be much better. No bad matchups when you draw like a pro. Exactly, Kaio, you got it. Even Mardu Shadow is a terrible matchup, but we just drew, like that game 1. We just drew the perfect. Again, it's easy to say, well, Francisco, but you are so lucky. Of course, you're going to get there. But we made a decision on turn 0 that ended up winning me the game. We made a decision on turn 4, like the turn before I drew the Titan, which was to play the Azusa and not play my lands. So all of those things are easy to oversee, but that is, the way that you need to be thinking about Amulet is you need to be thinking to your outs, and you need to try to figure out what it is that you're trying to, like, what your path to victory looks like, what needs to happen for you to win, and then make plays that get you towards that. Shouldn't be as much, but are the cards just better than non-cards? I think so. Personally, I do believe so. I do think that the current metagame is Karn is just very, very good in the current metagame. It just does a lot that we're interested in doing. Why did we decide to go from second negate to third rate? I mean, it's exactly what happens when the metagame is so artifact heavy as it is right now, right? Like, everybody's playing artifacts, Stoneforge Mystic, Ursa, like all of those decks. Raid is just very good against. Negate, not so much. Yes, if they're playing in like blue-white Stoneblade, but if they're playing like banned Stoneblade, maybe I don't even bring in Negate. It's better to be lucky than good anyway, give me my money. To be honest, one of a matter of a Braid is really good right now, so 3 is sweet, and the second negate was arguably the most cuttable card to make room. Kind of something like that for sure. But yeah, there are also other cards that I like. I still would like to feed a Tireless Tracker. I just don't think that it does, and I'm not sure whether I would want to have a second negate over the first Tireless Tracker anyway. The only thing that I could see is just bringing in the Bog to the main deck, playing 29 lands, and just like taking something else out, like the second Explosives or a Ballista or something, and it's probably going to be one of these or the Pact of Negation. One of these. I think Pact of Negation is right now in a solid place, though. I think I do like having access to the Pact in the main deck. So, like, I have been in love with this main deck, honestly. I think this main deck is just pure gas. It's just insane. Let's try without Cage and in Field of the Dead. Well, Field of the Dead is already in the main deck. So, when do you ever play Hornet Queen? Against Shadow decks, against humans, against like those go wide aggro decks, it's very good. Against mid-range decks, it's usually just like a straight up 5-for-1 against John and stuff, unless they have Plague Engineer. It's pretty solid. It's pretty solid. It's just one of those cards that you have in your deck because it gives you an answer that you might not otherwise have access to, basically, in the sideboard. Graphic Cage over Tormund Script. Yeah, that's what I've been testing today. I'm not sure whether it's correct or not. Still not sure. We're gonna see how that goes. Want to try Academy and I feel that the sideboard like really like one of value lands. Yeah, I think Academy is unplayable, and Field is like, I mean, it's already in the main deck. Why do you want to put it in the sideboard? Makes no sense. It's good in the main deck already, so. Yep. Any other questions or thoughts about Amulet? Because I'm just gonna wrap up the stream otherwise. But even if you do have any question, no, I'm not gonna have time to do one last league. I need to go teach a lesson, so because I want to feel it. Yeah, I think that's not worth it. Yeah, otherwise, like, we have a ton of viewers right now, so I would certainly play another league, but I literally don't have the time, so I need to go. Still happy with the number of cards? Yes, the number of cards, like 3 has felt like the sweet spot. Karn has, as a 4-off, it has sometimes felt like a little bit, I was certainly Karn flooded more often than not. And with steerings, you see Karn so much that it's 3 has felt like the sweet spot. Yeah, I am very, very happy with 3 Karns. I don't think I would want to play 2, and I don't think I would love to play 4 either. But if I were to do any changes, I think that 4 might be closer to correct than 2. Is Relic still pulling its weight? It kind of is, honestly. If I were to fit like a 29th land somehow, maybe that's something I can try out in the future. Just like play Sloth instead of Relic, and just play a 29th land, play the Bojuka Bog in the main deck over something else, I don't know what. So maybe that's something worth trying out. But Relic has been so good though. Like you saw it today when we played against a Black Arena opponent. Coalition Relic just like ramping me for 2 was excellent. My opponent ended up needing to, I think, Assassin's Trophy the Relic or something, giving me a land in the process. It was just great. I don't think it's actually necessary in this meta, in my opinion. I've been playing against Blood Moon more than I have in the Hogak metagame. So if anything, it feels more necessary now than it was when Hogak was legal. This has been gasoline for me, only if it's I still lose Crypt or Cage. Yeah, I honestly like, I think I like Crypt better than Cage, honestly. It was just something that I wanted to try out today to see how it felt. And again, like the one time it did come up, Tormod's Crypt would have been better than Cage, so... Do you feel like the Ballista slot is kind of clunky nowadays? No, not really. It has felt fine. Especially against Control, being able to like transmute, which they can't really interact with for your Ballista to make an uncounterable Ballista instead of needing to resolve your Karn in order to get your Ballista. Same thing against humans. Needing to resolve your Karn and then so you can get Ballista from the sideboard. It's just too many hoops to jump through. Well, just having access to the Ballista by itself is just fine. Why am I not a sub? I don't have it back. Oh, Maximilian, I don't know. Maybe it ran out? You should definitely have a badge. I do remember you subbing. Maybe it expired. If you sub with Prime, then you need to... It's kind of weird. Like, I have no idea why they don't just like let you renew with Prime. I was referred to a previous question. Oh, sorry, Asgard. I think I did cover your question though. Thoughts on Once Upon a Time better than let's just make a command for this. Once upon. So I think this card is playable, but definitely worse than Ancient Steerings in Amulet. We'll test it when it is legal, but we'll test it when it's legal, period. Yeah, I honestly think that it might even be worse than Explorer. I'm sorry, my old CC expired and I didn't update my card info. I'll be sure there's... Oh yeah, you got it, Maximilian. Thank you so much for the support, by the way. Blast Zone main. I think Blast Zone is very bad in Amulet. I think it's very bad. Like the sack a land clause is very relevant, and it's only good against specifically Death Shadow decks. It's bad against everything else. Best option after they ban Steerings. Yeah, it's 100%. It's like the best counter that we would if they do ban Steerings, which I don't think they will, because I think this card is just fine. But if they do ban Steerings for whatever reason, then I think that Once Upon a Time will be the go-to cantrip. It's just really awkward in our curve. Like the 1, 2, 3 curve is smooth because we play so many tap lands. So you can play your Amulet on 1, and then you play a bounce, and you play your 3-drop. Or you play Steerings on 1 into something, and then on turn 2 you play a tap land, and on turn 3 you play your land. The 2-drop is just so awkward in our lands. Explore is an exception, because Explore allows you to play the untap land, play the Explorer, and then you play the tap land. So you do still end up with 3 mana on the following turn. But just like a cantrip, at 2 mana is too awkward. It just doesn't fit in the curve. Going into the first week of the format, I thought Amulet was underrated. I do think it still is. I think it's extremely well positioned, and people are not respecting it enough. I feel like this is Wizard saying, "Hey guys, we'll ban it, but try this out." Maybe, I don't know. Because I mean, Tron is not gonna play that card, right? Like, it's just not very good in Tron. Like, it finds lands, but it like finds a Wormhole at most. Like, Steerings is so much better in Tron. Same thing here, like it finds all of our lands, it fits in our curve, and it also is, it also finds like Karns and our interaction. This card will find Titans and nothing else, basically, right? So it's like Steerings right now finds Tolera West, which is kind of a Titan. So even with Steerings, you're not really whiffing on a Titan very often. So now this means that all of this are just blanks. And this is what matters, right? We have 32 cards that would matter. Whereas right now we have, with Steerings, we have all of these cards that matter. So if you think about it in this way, you can see that Steerings is significantly better. Azusa is why it's great. No, because turn 3 Azusa is not as good as turn 2 Azusa. And very oftentimes, it's what I'm saying with the tap lands. We only play these many untap lands. So usually your sequencing of lands is going to involve some number of tap lands, right? We have 13 untap lands total. Your sequencing of lands is going to involve some number of untap lands. So if you are using 2 mana to cantrip on turn 2, then you're very likely to have a tapped land, so you're not going to be able to Azusa on turn 3, even if you do find the Azusa with the cantrip. That is my point, and that is what I think that people are ignoring. Yes, if you have it in your opener and it's the first spell you play, it's awesome, obviously. Nobody's stupid, we can all see that. But what people are, in my opinion, not thinking through is the fact when that happens. For us specifically, okay, for our deck specifically. It is very different with other decks, like Neo-Brand and stuff like that. Very different there, because they don't really care about that stuff, you know. They just they're looking for like one thing and nothing else, because of like the amount of tap lands that we're playing and like how our curve works. I think that 2 mana is very, very awkward in the mana. Again, Explorer gets around this because you get to cast your Explorer and then you play your tap land, so you untap on turn 3 with Azusa mana. But I think that 2 versus 1 is the difference between great to unplayable. There was already another card that people were trying. People tried this in Amulet, which had the same problem. Just 2 mana. It's unplayable. I think there was another one at 2 mana that people were trying, which was like a green cantrip, another green cantrip, or maybe it was a blue cantrip. I don't remember exactly. But it's just like 2 mana. It's a really tough spot. Explore is the only thing that gets around it. Azusa is kind of great hits. Yes, on turn 1 or 2. And then they are not past that. And again, this is if it's in your opener, not if you top deck it off the top, after you have already played the spell. Yeah, it's free the first time if you're not like playing Steerings. Like, let's say that you go turn 1 Steerings and you top deck this card. Now you basically have a blank in your hand, when you could have an Explorer. Gather the Pack, was it? I don't remember what it was, but yeah. Whatever. Well, if you top deck it 1, your second draft lane, you're wrecked. Exactly. So that's my point. I think that people are focusing on like, yeah, this is going to be nice because you're going to get to do this and this. And I think I agree with that. It's going to be great when that is exactly what happens. But what if you have two of them, for example? What if you draw two copies of the card? You play the first one for free, and the second one is like you mulligan, basically. Because it's going to make your draw super awkward. Is the leyline effect. Amazing in your opener, very bad after that. The thing that I do agree is that on turns 6+, the card is gonna be like basically the best cantrip ever. You start with 7 or 5 cards in hand, depending on player draw. If you draw, it turns 2-4. I think it's pretty bad, but after turn 4, I think it's almost always going to be a good draw. No, I don't think it's going to be in turn 4, but in turns around like turn 6+. Because on turn 4, you will already want to have your Titan. Because if you cantrip into a Titan on turn 4, that means a turn 5 Titan, which is going to be too slow. Like, you'd rather just have like cards that help you get to that Titan, or a different threat, right? Because otherwise, like, you're probably just dead by turn 4. What are the argument that too many cantrips leads to riskier keeps? Yeah, that's the same thing. So that is my point. It's like the fact that it's not going to replace Steerings, because Steerings is just better than that. I think that Steerings is better than that card. Now the question is, how do we build our deck with that card? Maybe you don't play Karn, and you play like 2 copies of this card, or maybe 3. I mean, the easiest thing would be to just play 3, right? But let's say that you play 2 copies of this card, and then you play a Sloth or something. That could be cool. Like that's like the place where I will start. Just like a couple of copies of the card, and that's it. But I don't think it's going to be like 4 Steerings, 4 of this card. And, you know, I think that it's not going to work out that way. And if the meta remains like it is, I'd rather play Karn than that card anyway, so... Is it trapping to keep in shittier hands? Potentially, yeah. Potentially, yeah. If you're not playing Karn, I think it's close to Steerings. Else, I'd keep Steerings, I think. Maybe a 3-2 split. No, I disagree. I think that, yeah, it's just Steerings is so much better. I just explained multiple times already why I think that Steerings fits in the curve, this card does not. And again, if you're not playing 4 copies of this card, it's the same as Leyline. You're way more likely to not have it in your opener, and they just like top deck it and an awkward spot, because you only have like a couple of copies of it. So, like, I like to build my decks to minimize the variance, right? Make my deck the most consistent possible. That's why I play more threats. That's why I like playing Karn, because Karn always knows what you're getting. You have all of these tools, and you always know what you're getting. There's no variance here. There's no variance with Primeval Titan either. There's no variance with Tolaria West. We can't whiff. Like, we're getting a Titan with Tolaria West. So I'm trying to make my deck less variable. I play 20 lands because I don't want to hit land drops, and even still, I don't want to miss land drops, and even still, I sometimes do miss land drops. And I think this is going to potentially make it worse. If I still continue to facilitate down me people, you should just go to your lesson and sign off. I'm not commanding or just advising. Yeah, no, I'm just talking. I'm just hanging out. I appreciate it being wonky, but you know, I usually like doing like a wrap up, and this is worth discussing. I mean, I'm not angry. I'm not frustrated either. It's just like, I mean, I am gonna test the card. I am gonna test the card 100%. I think it does have potential, but I think it's worse than people are saying it. Same thing that I think that Explorer is much better than people think it is. Like that kind of thing. It's just like, it's just we disagree on. I disagree with like the way that most people think in some things, which is fine. I do what works for me, and other people do what works for them. Again, like even great players like Edgar, they just I'm not sure Edgar, but I'm pretty sure that Matt Dilks doesn't like Karn, for example. And he just doesn't play Karn. I don't think he's ever played Karn on like a tournament or anything. I know, and it's 100%. I like to see having a conversation is great. Like, this is why I stream. Like the fact that we get to chat about this, you know, the fact that we are interacting with people. It's fine to disagree, in my opinion. Otherwise, you stifle innovation. Exactly, precisely. So, and that's why I have played other cards, right? Like Sloth, for example. I think Sloth is very bad. Some other people like Sloth, but you know, through discussing and through testing, I ended up registering Sloth at GP Vegas because I figured out that it actually worked. You know, it did what I wanted it to do in the Hogak metagame, right? Yeah, I always enjoy hanging out and talking to people. And there's still 83 of you hanging out here, even though I haven't played Magic for a while. So I do assume that at least 83 of you guys are enjoying the conversation. But yeah, it's cool. It's cool. Karn's good. Karn's good. Highly recommend. I will be back tomorrow, and it is looking like I might be able to stream the Modern Challenge this weekend, which is gonna be cool because I never get to like stream like premiere events. I guess I don't know if the Modern Challenge is considered a premiere event, but yeah, I think I'm going to be able to play it, and I'm going to be able to stream it as well. So that's gonna be pretty cool. Was enjoy the conversation. I'm constantly looking for figure out the 74 and 75 slots of the deck. Yeah, same here, Ifena. Same here. Not gonna be home. Oh, don't worry about it. Yeah, it's a premiere event. All right, sweet. Even more so. So hopefully we do well there. We play against a bunch of Stoneforge decks. Yeah, what I'm not gonna do for sure is like a lot of people like double queue while streaming like premiere events because of all the dead time in the middle. I'm going to apologize in advance. There's gonna be dead time in the middle. I'm sorry everyone, but I am not double queuing with Amulet. That's not happening. I am not double queuing through a I'm not double queuing with Amulet through a 9-round event. That's not gonna happen. Double Q and Amulet of the way control. Yeah, that's a recipe for disaster right there for sure. All right, awesome. That's gonna be it from me. I will be back tomorrow. I think I might play some Legacy. I haven't streamed Legacy in a really long time, and there's like I just want to see where the format is at. I want to see if I can go back to playing some Maverick. Hopefully, maybe not, but yeah, I might stream some Legacy tomorrow. Although I think no, never mind. I think I'm just gonna stream Amulet because I want to try to hit like my threshold for partner, and I get way more viewers when I stream Amulet. So yeah. After I hit my threshold for partner, I'm going to go back to streaming some Legacy. But yeah, we're gonna be probably Amuleting again tomorrow. I don't know if there's something else that I'm gonna want to try. We'll see. Or maybe we'll just keep like jamming to prepare for the challenge. Anyway, thanks everyone for hanging out. Make sure you hit that follow button. If you want to support the channel, you can subscribe. You get access to these sweet emotes. And the Cyborg Guide, you can access the Cyborg Guide after you join my Discord, which is the first link over there. You link your Twitch to your Discord account, and you wait a couple of hours, which will give you access to the sub-only channels. If you want to check out my previous streams, you can do so on YouTube. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I always post when I'm going live and stuff like that. And finally, if you would like to support the stream, donations are always very, very welcome and appreciated. And with any donation of $12 or more, I will play any list of your choosing through a league live here on stream. Oh yeah, Nasif is still streaming. Sick. Yeah, he was playing Vintage. He was playing some sweet decks in Vintage. I'm actually kind of into it. So we're gonna go to the yellow hat realm. Nasif is so good too. Alright, see you all guys tomorrow. We'll be back with more Amulet action. Have an amazing rest of the day. Bye bye.